Heihachi didn't want to kill a kid. Like, baby killing was the line. He'll kill kids, but not babies.
Dog.
I like how you changed it to baby immediately.
Yes, I had to. Babies. He'll kill kids, not babies.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because like, what is the inciting incident of the series? Throwing his son off
I had
a
to
cliff.
catch myself, yes. His code was he will not kill babies, like defenseless little babies. But if they can do a Mishima step and electric, game on.
Do you like scary movies? Aha, gotta start with the class. Where is everybody? What's going on? Hello? Am I all alone? Am I doing this episode all by myself?
Are you alone in the dark?
We are here.
Oh, almost.
We are
Wow, that
here,
spooked
but
me.
we are hiding.
We are many.
We are also cringe.
Yes, I was going for that. I was going for the Ermac thing. Put an effect on my voice, Sonic. Do it.
Okay.
We are here.
So,
Just for that,
welcome.
2 lines, though.
Okay. So, welcome to the Kombat Kings, everybody.
And
As you
also
can see,
this line.
Okay, we are in our special Halloween episode again. That's why we're all hiding our cameras. Well, except me, because I didn't have a super duper costume. But let me just hurry up and put it on. If you have been Kombat King veterans, you may have already seen this. Happy day! So, back to the Pochita. Now, if you have seen a couple episodes ago, I did show this hat already, but I will be wearing this hat for the most of the episode. But I also have something else to go with it. Happy day! So yes, do not threaten me.
And you're orange too, so it all works out. You still pull.
That's right. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
have it all work out, baby. That's right. I'm Texas Chainsaw Man from Fortnite. If I'm mad, I'll bring this out again, which I'm sure this episode will make me mad a couple times. Anyone else here ready to spook us?
I suppose I will go next. And at first, I was worried that the headphones would ruin this costume, but it turns out my fears were unbased. I should not have feared at
Very
all.
cringe.
Whoa!
Hey, how's it going, everyone? How you doing?
That's good.
That's really good, actually. Yeah.
And I made it I tried my best to make it look green, but sadly it's the early morning, so light be shining through into the room.
You tried your best making it look green. Like, did you paint that?
No, I meant the lighting is green. There's a green light beaming on me, but because it's like the morning, the light is shining in.
I
So
see.
you can't see all the green. Because it's just like, natural lighting is ruining it, but oh well.
Is that the guy who made it into multiverses before Scorpion did?
Yeah.
Funny you mentioned that because that's actually why I'm wearing the costume. The sequel is not why. I was inspired by multiverses. I was like, hell yeah. Hell
I'll get back in
yeah.
a second.
I found out they're still adding stuff to multiverses. I was shocked. I was shocked that game was still alive.
Oh, it's got microtransactions, baby. There's money to be
They
made.
killed it and brought it back, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess that did exist at some point.
Yeah, and the microtransactions in it are crazy. But for some reason, I keep getting free stuff. I don't know why, but I got Powerpuff Girls for free. Got Beetlejuice for free.
Talking
Yeah.
about multiverses.
Oh yeah, they just added the Powerpuff Girls.
Heck yeah.
Yes,
The
they
reason
did.
why I left is actually one of the reasons why my costume, I personally didn't feel like I prepared enough because we just said we are going to do the Halloween episode yesterday. So, and then you two are like, I got a costume prepared. I'm like, well, crap. Maybe I should get a costume prepared too for this episode. But oh, well, would you look at that? Like the biggest typhoon just hit our country right now. So,
Are you
gotta be
safe?
safe.
Oh, crap.
And just then, my window got bursted open with a giant wind, so that's why I had to go. Oh crap!
Oh, okay.
Gotta check on that just then.
Hey, you better be careful. That may have been actually a poltergeist. One of my cousins. They love to do that shit. And they attack during doing those events, so you don't know that it's actually them messing with you. For any lore snobs who are like, Beetlejuice isn't related to ghosts, shut up. Shut up. Also, you may have noticed if you're a huge Beetlejuice fan. Oh,
What happened? Oh, hell yeah! Oh my gosh. Don't punch us.
Oh, he's pointing more intensely
Please,
now.
please. I have no interest in Claire, man. Come on.
No,
Oh my gosh, the camera!
no!
The
I was going to do a kill thing where I pulled out a rifle and said, hey, I'm Resident Evil 6 Chris Redfield, but ruined it. Oh no. Oh no.
Just look at it from here. It looked like you just ripped the camera. It looked like you did a front flip or something. It looked awesome.
Whoa, 3D, full panoramic.
Very
view.
cool.
Do that thing where you walk into a wall for no reason, and then you back up,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then you
yeah.
turn, and then you
My
walk.
favorite.
Oh yeah, the tank controls.
Trust me, it's very clever.
Getting rid of tank controls ruined Silent Hill 2.
Damn it! It ruined Resident Evil 2 remake. There is an argument to be made for Resident Evil 3 remake, but yeah.
What ruined them? What?
Not having tank controls in Resident Evil 2 remake and Silent Hill 2 remake.
Ah, well, that's the funny thing is you actually do have tank controls. That's literally how they put. Well, aside from aside from sidestepping, but the actual like Resident Evil 4, the original, is full on tank controls. Just that the cameras move behind your back now. It still controls the
Oh, that
exact
makes
same
it-
way.
Oh, interesting.
I see what you mean. But for Silent Hill in particular, I feel like the camera should always be locked in place. But that's just me.
Oh shit.
Well, you know, the remake is
Because it's such a
quite-
trippy, kind of surreal game. You know, it's meant to be like, ooh, atmospheric. Like Resident Evil is always going to be like, you know, a bit actiony and a bit more, you know. But when Silent Hill goes full third-person shooter, I feel like it's not Silent Hill anymore.
Yeah, but that's after 3. After 3 is when Resident Evil also started changing a bit of the genre kind of feel.
I see. So it's more of a recent change. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, because Resident Evil 4
less
is when the
recent.
action started. Yeah.
But even 3 went more action-y compared to 2.
He's got a goblet because Halloween and it's orange.
Oh,
Nice.
that's adorable. I've only got my nice
He is a pumpkin.
Venice cup here.
I am the pumpkin head.
True.
That's very cute.
Our
Speaking
man
of-
Jack is king of the pumpkin patch. Has anyone else
Speaking of-
felt like this is the most stealthy Halloween ever? I feel like it snuck up on us. I didn't see
No.
very many YouTube channels like building up to it or having like a whole Halloween themed month like a lot of channels used to do back in the day.
Yeah,
Like
I
every
see what you
episode would be like, you know, a Halloween theme building up. I haven't noticed that really.
I have a friend who's like really likes Halloween, and he said Happy Halloween like a lot in September, and I was like, dude, it's not Halloween yet. What? No, it's Halloween in September. I'm like, no. It's like, have I been living a lie this whole my life? So that's why I felt Halloween was pretty long for me.
Gotcha. Well, like for example, I watched that, you know, that cringe slop channel, Jimmy here. I love watching that guy and his
Okay.
You Laugh You Lose videos and whatnot. And last year, like every video in October all had spooky memes and like themes around Halloween. Like a lot of the memes were Halloween themed. And now like none of them are. I'm like, huh. It's like the quietest Halloween ever.
I mean, I didn't upload anything Halloween related myself.
I just had this realization, if you really think about it, that the whole thing where we hide our costumes at the start is kind of pointless because the audience will
Why?
see in the opening, the preview, and the thumbnail. Like, if I appear at all in the intro, they'll see, oh, he's Chris Redfield. Dog's Beetlejuice with his silly little wig. But unless you found an alternative, Mr. Sonic.
Yeah, I did, Snake, and I did this last year too. It's called I Just Don't Have an Intro.
That's cringe. You have to have an intro.
No. I will have an intro, but it's only for Twitter. But I won't have it on the YouTube video. You know, the YouTube video just starts.
That's cringe.
So Sonic, about 10 seconds ago, I just made the thumbnail faces for you as Snake brought it up. So for editing Sonic, you saw the faces about 10, 15 seconds ago that I was making and just holding in place. Those are for thumbnail. Go for it.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll keep that in my editing, Sonic. Speaking of,
You gotta put the gun
scary
closer to
thing-
your face, Snake, because like Sonic always like shoves us really close to the, you know, the camera and the thumbnails.
Oh,
yeah, there you go.
we're doing like
No.
thumbnail faces
Yeah, like that.
or something like that. I don't-
The second that Snake did this, I was like, oh, demonetized.
I remember when Sonic got me with holding a sniper rifle and it made me really small in the frame, like pointing at a dog across the thumbnail. Do that.
Yes. Oh, that actually might not be too bad actually. Just like the gun going past like Ghostface's face and then to like Trinidad dog being like,
As long as you keep
over
the,
here
the
or
orange in
whatnot.
frame, keep the orange in frame, it's fine.
Of course, yes. YouTube, you see the orange there? You see the orange? Yes, right? Okay,
Not
thank
real,
you.
These are not real bullets, you can tell. They have springs in them.
Please don't demonetize us again like you did with our most recent video, unfortunately.
Again?
The orange nozzle is also a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
Like if the orange nozzle doesn't save us, then nothing will.
Did one of us say the naughty, 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 naughty C word?
No, but what's up?
Oh.
Okay, if you guys want to see who
Now that
who
you're
the blame
talking
is.
about that, I have a warning for everybody. I wanted to post about this on Twitter, but it was too late at night to bring it up. At least according to when I normally, shit post on Twitter. So the word animality will now get you demonetized in the YouTube title. Like if you type the word animality, you will get
Wow.
demonetized. My video was yellow icon.
Like that's the
I
reason
changed the
for
title,
it.
green icon. Changed it back, yellow icon. Changed it again, green icon. So I've had to cheat by using
Why?
a capital I
Call it-
as the L
call-
because it looks the
okay,
same
new
on
meta.
YouTube.
Call it-
But why is
call
the
it
funny part is for anyone not
animal
watching,
finishes.
despite what you might think, animality is not a bad word. Go ahead, Snake.
Just
I
call
know.
it animal
No, he said
finishers.
call it animal finishers.
Animal
or something.
finishers or animorph finishers. Every animorph in
animorph.
Mortal Kombat.
But I'm just confused because animality is not a bad word. It just means animalistic nature. It just means to act like an animal. So it's not even a bad word. Like
not-
fatality, I get because it implies the video might have death in it. But the word
Yeah.
animality is not
clearly
murder.
It's because
it's not
clearly
like
it's because
killing.
the animalities were just put into the game recently, and they're more violent than ever. So YouTube's like, that has to go straight away. Like,
Yeah, I think it's the AI
specific-
that might
it's
have
a
even figured
Google
it out too, not even a
dictionary
real
word.
person.
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
to be a Mortal Kombat thing. There's no other reason why they would do that. It's just because of this.
Oh yeah.
But
And
it's a
I
freaking
go even further and say
existing
it's the
Google
AI
word I could
learning
just
because
search
the
up
AI
here.
does weird stuff like that where it learns way too much and covers censors way too much. Like when it got mad at the literal bleep sound for censorship, it made that like something you can't do, which is why every YouTube
Yes.
channel started doing funny sound effects instead, like oof, oh, instead of like the actual
Yeah.
curse words.
Yeah.
Which still baffles me. It's like, hey, what's that? You're censoring something? Can't have that. It's like, we're censoring it so we can get. Why is that okay for TV? Like, you watch old South Park episodes, and it's like, yeah, they would be swearing, but
Tale as old as
but, like,
time.
shit and fuck were always bleeped in the early seasons to get it on TV and whatnot. And,
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
Yep.
so clearly it's fine for them, but why is YouTube like, no, you're not allowed to censor. We're very anti-censorship here on YouTube. You can't censor yourself. You have to
Yeah.
be completely true and honest.
We're
That's
retreading
right.
old ground here. We've all covered this before.
Yeah.
But funny
Yeah,
fact that I was
exactly.
going to mention earlier, any true Beetlejuice fans, like some real snobs for Beetlejuice lore, will notice that my costume is actually incorrect. You get what you deserve with Amazon, I suppose, but my sleeves have vertical stripes, and they should be horizontal if it's actually Beetlejuice.
It looks nice. And also, Snake, are you a Beetlejuice fan? Or
No.
yeah,
Wow.
because
Tough
me and
crowd.
Snake can't
Tough
tell,
crowd.
so don't worry about it. Tough crowd.
Maybe
You're the only person here who probably watched the newest movie.
maybe that design's from the cartoon. Who knows?
The I wish the cartoon's also horizontal.
Bruh.
Oh, you're definitely
The only
like
real
a
difference
Beetlejuice
is,
snob here.
The cartoon has red fingers for some reason. His fingertips are all red. I have no clue why. I think it's just an artistic choice.
Like Kronika with her gold fingertips.
Speaking of spooky
Oh,
things,
imagine like Beetlejuice has that aesthetic. They
I'm
put him
trying
in,
my
they
best.
put him in MK and he has that aesthetic, and then he has an intro with Geras, and Geras like, "You remind me of my former mistress. Her fingers were also miscolored." You know that they're really terrible,
Miscolored.
like really forced references they like to do, like they did with
Oh yeah.
everything Terminator had, and they're gonna do again with Conan.
Oh. I feel like
epic.
it'll be on T1000 though if you're talking about forced
If
references.
you want to do forced references, there is a perfect character to do that with, and that is Ghostface, because he quizzes a character in the first film on horror films. So you could just be like,
Yeah.
bringing those up to the various characters, and it could work.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Ghostface,
Yeah, and honestly, now that I think about
the-
it, I hate to be a hater, but I think Beetlejuice would have been a better guest character, horror-wise, like in Mortal Kombat 1. I just think he would have been. Would have been pretty dope.
compared
Yeah.
to who?
Ghostface.
Even Ghostface.
I
I think his attacks would be more varied and
Wow.
interesting. Yeah. Now that said, maybe WB doesn't want to see Beetlejuice getting actually killed. He's only allowed to get cartoonishly maimed.
Is Beetlejuice more like less R-rated as a series?
That would be funny if they did a version. It's like, well, he doesn't get he gets cut open and that, but it's like a cartoon, like in like a Tom and Jerry. If like a character gets like sliced in half or something, it's just flat color. And so like Kung Lao slices Beetlejuice in half, and then like instead of having the blood and the bones and all that, and the
details.
organs, it's just a solid block color. They should just put it in the game anyway. Just do that. Have like a blank
As like
color.
a sensory mode,
and have like a
sensor mode?
cartoony option. Oh, NetherRealm, hire me. I'm
Have
way
it
better
be
at
like
this job
whenever
than
like
you
a
are.
limb is chopped off or the head is chopped off, it's like one of those like red and like in the middle there's like a white, like that's like they do in the cartoons,
Yeah. Or if an arm comes off, there's like a little bone sticking out.
Yeah, like Among Us style. Yeah, that'd be great.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I mean. Oh, Among Us, exactly. That's a perfect analogy.
Among Us. All right, so should we just begin with
Do you know
Ghostface, or
Shaggy
what do you
from
want to start with
Scooby-Doo was in
first?
Scream?
I'm
And
gonna kick you, Snake!
In fact, did you know that this is the second time we've had a Scream actor in Mortal Kombat? Because Matthew Lillard from Scream 1, was in Battle of the Realms as Shaggy. This is the second time we've had
Oh, wait, really? That's a cute connection. I didn't know Matthew Lillard did like that little bit of a reference there. Does he still voice act Shaggy in the cartoons and stuff?
Yeah, it's really funny because
awesome.
the first time you played him was in Shaggy and Scooby-Doo Get a Clue, which is like one of the least remembered entries. Like people like to dog on the one that had like the Seth MacFarlane art style, Be Cool Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
But like Shaggy Scooby-Doo Get a Clue was when he first played him, and no one remembers that one exists because it was basically just Shaggy and Scooby going on adventures on their own. And it's unmemorable other than the fact that it introduced Matthew Lillard as in the voice acting department, and he's played him ever since. He played him in the Ultra Instinct movie, and he plays him in everything now.
Okay, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see his team up with Scorpion in Multiverses, I guess.
Sure.
Hell yeah, brother. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be good.
Do you like scary movies?
Is it probably Ghostface that no one actually gives a shit about Ghostface?
What?
I like
The only people who actually care
like
about Ghostface
him.
the only people other than Dog who want to see Ghostface in this game are people who main him in Dead by Daylight. Other than that, no one gives a shit.
That's
Genuinely,
a very
honestly,
funny way to put it.
Which
They should have put a Dead by Daylight character in MK instead, and then put an MK character in Dead by Daylight.
That'd be a cute
that would
collaboration.
have been fun.
Like you're
I
getting
will
stalked
say
by
that
Gyros.
it's maybe too long of a topic, but for anyone, I think Ghostface in that game is hilarious in Dead by Daylight because apparently when he first came out, he was dog water, like he was terrible, bottom of bottom tiers, because he just didn't work correctly. Then when they finally made him work correctly, they overdid it and made him like a top 3 character, and he just became like one of the most annoying killers to actually face off against because his stealth ability, where he stalks you, is supposed to go away if you look at him. But they made it so hard to actually get that to work that he could just be like right behind you and still have like the stalking perk. Yeah.
The thing is, that's you know it's going to be the inverse of how it's going to go in MK, because it's every time a fighting game character comes out, especially a guest, they are stupidly overpowered, then they get nerfed into bottom tier. Every time.
Oh yeah.
Was that the case with like every guest character that came out last for Pack 1?
Well,
I don't think
Omni-Man was never
super
overpowered.
broken, but Peacemaker and Homelander are pretty broken, right?
It's called hyperbole. Comedic hyperbole.
Yeah, of course.
No. I just thought I'd call him out. Community note him right now. Get him.
I'm done. I'm just saying. Like I think other than Omni-Man. But anyways,
Omni-Man is our good boy. Omni-Man is the goody boy who was never overpowered. He has crazy damage, but it's off of a weird launcher, so it's fine.
yeah, it's hype to watch Omni-Man play. But anyways, currently, as for the Ghostface teaser goes, like we have one of them which just showcases. It's interesting. I don't think they've ever done one where it just showcases the gears. Like it's just there to like, bam, here's the gears. They didn't do that for like any other DLC characters.
I love the Scorpion one. It's so silly. He's just like wearing a
probably is my
Scorpion
favorite
mask
just because
over the
it's silly,
Ghostface mask. It's great.
Somebody said one of them is based off of Dead by Daylight. I don't know which one would that be.
The red one, the demon one, and the Scarecrow one maybe is too. Or the devil one, if you want to call it. I think it's more of a devil thing than a demon thing to have the horns.
This strikes me as the rights holders said that you can have customization, but it has to stay like in the same shape, and that's why the options are so dog water. Because I wanted to see the one from the TV show. I wanted to see something like more different, like maybe a version where he's not wearing a mask at all and it's just like black, like a shadow. But no, it's just let's just do all kinds of weird stuff with him. It does come off like they wanted to do more, but they weren't allowed to. So I'm not going to give them shit for it. Although it's a real shame we didn't get the "What's up" one from Scary Movie.
Hey, well,
that would be the funny one.
Someone did say there's 10 gear pieces normally. We only see 9.
So there could be a
Imagine if it was the one from the TV show, and that was the last.
You
one.
really want that one? I just looked it up. It does look kind of creepy, actually.
Because it's something that exists within the IP that is different. Because in the movies, everyone has the same mask. There might be some slight tweak designs, but it's just the same look. Whereas the show went for something different because maybe they wanted to do something more serious with that version. and it's one thing that NetherRealm consistently fails to do. Now, in the case of Guess, it could just be a rights thing, but then you just get cool stuff like Omni-Man with the Invincible colours.
Invincible.
That was really good. But then you look at Homelander and it's like, oh, it's just base colours. And it probably is a rights thing, unfortunately. So
Could be.
Someone should be blamed
also
for it, but I'm
it's-
not going to blame NetherRealm for it.
Also, you're like the only person I've seen want that. Like, everyone has their request, but I've never seen anyone say, I want the TV show version of Scream. They didn't do it, fuck them.
Yeah.
Also,
That's pretty
here's
obscure for the fans, I guess.
I learned an interesting fact while, looking at people posting the masks and things for Ghostface.
Okay.
It turns out his mask predates Scream by like 3 or 4
Yes.
years. He was already
Yes.
a costume. That's why they did that on purpose, because even in the lore of the movie, it's a Halloween costume you can just buy, which is why it's scary, because anyone could just go to the Halloween store and pick it up and kill people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which actually reminds me of the Michael Myers mask, how that's literally just a William Shatner mask.
Oh,
That's coloured white.
I didn't know that.
What was that movie that came out like a couple years ago with it's also another famous mask. It's like not really old, but around the 2000s. It's also a famous mask. It's like it's a superhero movie, but not really. I'll look it up. You guys keep talking.
Okay.
What does it look like?
I mean,
you
I'm
have to give us
just saying.
something, dude.
I'm not even sure if WB owns the rights to the Ghostface mask, is what I'm saying, because it predates the movie Scream. I wonder if technically I could make a character with the exact same mask and it would be okay.
The movies they own like the Scream, like the mask IP, I guess. V for Vendetta. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought about that too. I was like, hey, if you want to put a guy with a white mask and knives in the game, you could have put him in. Not to mention you get fucking
well, the problem
riddled
with
with
that
bullets
is,
at one point.
that,
so.
that's been like co-opted by certain online groups. So you know,
well,
the
mainstream
guy
people.
the guy for a mask.
You know what the-
yes,
you know what
the
the
guy
main-
for a mask is something that exists.
Yeah, you know
right?
what the mainstream people are like, where they're going to go, oh, this group of people has claimed this thing, we're going to let them have it. Like, the extremist groups are like, we're going to do the Punisher, we're going to take the Punisher's logo. Marvel's like, you know what? Keep it. That's fine. We'll just give Punisher an infinitely worse logo from now on. It's like, no, don't just let them have it. It's like when some people on like 4chan jokes, oh yeah, milk is now a symbol of the alt-right, and the mainstream media was like,
Huh?
milk is now racist, and it's like, no, you don't just let them have it.
That does happen quite
Stop
often.
doing it.
Yeah.
You fools. You give
I
them
always
power.
knew milk was racist.
The guy for a mask has been around for a while though, so it could mean a lot. To be fair, that's been a while actually since I've heard people bring that
shit.
up as like something more 4chan-y. Other than that, like the trailer really just only showed a couple of like fatalities and fatal blow shenanigans. Because I watched Dog's like one of his 7 like Ghostface thumbnail videos. I did see
Hell yeah.
that he brought up like the fatality of like
Oh,
Johnny
yeah.
in front of the TV screen.
Wait, just thought, these masks, dog. You can put some of these masks in the thumbnails to make it have something different for once.
Scorpion.
Yeah.
He
And
does.
then
he does.
Reddit-
Snake.
then-
Come
then
on.
Reddit
he
will start
does.
making fun of
He
you.
has the red one. He has
Does
the red
Reddit
one, I
still
saw
on
that.
me? Let's go. I never go on MK Reddit because it's like so boring.
Because saying that Reddit would stop picking on him if he had like some variety. Because that's one of the big criticisms I see is the fact that it's like, oh, it's the same video, the same thumbnail all the time. It's like with the Ghostface stuff, I'm like, I can't defend you on this, dog. You are using the same fucking image over and over again.
With the Ghostface stuff in his arm.
There's a reason why. I was hijacking the more Pegasus meta where he keeps putting Logan Paul or KSI in the thumbnail and keeps putting "It's over, it ended, they're done,
That's
it's over."
your-
He keeps
that
doing it
was
as a
where you're
joke,
going
but it
with
keeps
that?
getting millions of views. So I'm like, hey, why don't I just do that with Ghostface building up to Halloween?
I mean, they do that, but they're also being made fun of, you know? like it's over.
Being made
like,
fun of all the way to the bank. Okay, let's see here. Getting a green
Oh,
light.
nice red light there.
I was trying to make it green, but it didn't really add anything, did it? I made this light that's normally white, like the main light. I made it green. All it's done now is made me look evenly lit. That's about it.
I mean, your whole room looks green on my screen, though. So I mean, if
Yeah.
I could make you greener if you want to,
Thank
you
you.
know, I could
I
be
would
like,
appreciate that very much, yeah. But no, it was definitely a meme. That's an inside joke. I was just putting Ghostface on like every single thumbnail. Yeah, an inside joke that only I get. But it's my channel.
there you go. Like you said in the video, it's like, and also on Twitter, you were saying like, oh, I hope when they do that fatality of the sitting on the couch pointing at the TV, like every character has a different line. I do hope for
That's
that
what
too.
I'm hoping.
You know what would have been great?
I love I love that reference to the first movie. Jamie, just look back, look behind you. Jamie, come
He's
on.
behind you.
Yeah.
You know what would have been really good as a master thought of? You know how like in Payday or I think it was Point Break they have like the president caricature masks? That but Johnny Cage.
On Johnny Cage?
No,
like
like a Johnny Cage caricature mask.
Oh,
So-
for the Ghostface?
Yeah, so it's like a guy go around killing people in a mask that's based on Johnny Cage because that probably exists in the universe. He is a media superstar.
A celebrity. Yes.
I guarantee.
That is true.
I saw a funny post on. Oh,
Here's the question though: with that fatality where he comes up behind the character while they're on the couch, what do you think is going to be the ratio of fatality compilations that have it against Johnny Cage in Cage manner versus ones that don't? Because I feel like people.
Well, you see-
I feel like people probably just do that.
Well, you see, the thing is, when he does the fatality, the background's all black. So I don't think the stage really matters that much. Like
do you think the little lightning strikes and thunderstorm was done in post, or do you think that the thunderstorms actually happened during the fatality?
I think it will happen during fatality because
Probably, yeah.
it gives that feeling, like.
Because it has me wondering if he's
Oh.
supernatural, like how they made like Freddy a bit more powerful in MK9.
Well, no.
I wonder if they're actually going to make Ghostface supernatural somehow.
I think it's more like it happened during that time, like.
I saw
it
a funny
just so
joke. But what if
happened.
Ghostface is actually a lore character in Mortal Kombat who's already really powerful? Like it's Shinnok in costume
but
or
he's
something,
hiding as shit, like a
which is why he's so
Ghostface.
overpowered. He can do magic and shit. But that'd be really funny. That'd be really interesting, actually, if they did
We'll
that.
have to see in the
But they're
arcade
not going
endings,
to.
That would be kind of cute.
It's Quan Chi the whole time. I want to know what Ghostface says when the fatality's done on him. Like, will he know it's coming? Like, here's the part where I die. Or will he be like, like unaware still? Because he's like the horror expert, so he should know. Like, man, I hope no one stabs me right now. It's like,
You know what?
stab him
Ghostface
out.
mirror matches will be pretty funny. I'll be like, "Wait, you're my partner, right? Because there's like two Ghostface. Like, you're his. Why am I? Wait, what?
I'm wondering, what will the T-1000 say? Because he's an emotionless robot and he's going to be there criticizing a movie, and then like he goes while getting stabbed to death, and it's going to look
No,
completely.
he'll be
silly.
like, that's not John Connor. Before he gets stabbed, like, that's not John
Yeah.
Connor.
That's not John Connor. This is not my
Yeah.
mission. Or something like that.
yeah,
and
this
then
is
get
not my
stabbed.
mission. Yeah, something like that.
That's true. It's going to be hard for certain characters. They're going to have to get really creative. As for like the mirror match intro dialogue, there's two they have to do, right? One of them has to be like, "So you've chosen to betray me," like that kind of line, like I thought we were in this
Yeah,
together, that kind of thing. And then a different one has to be like, "Why are you attacking me?" And it's like, "You think I'm your friend, or you think I'm that guy? I'm just a random person wearing the mask." That could be a good one too. You got to word it better than I just did, but I'm on the spot here. The idea is that the person
I'm
who's
sure
fighting
they'll have
against
to-
I
Yeah,
get
the
what
mask,
you
but
mean.
it's
I get
not.
what you mean.
They'll have one that
Yeah.
plays into MK and suggests that it's actually one of the killers from the films who got killed. Like, this is the Ghostface from the first film who got killed back as a Revenant Ghostface.
That'd be pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be cool. He gets powers and shit. And in that case, it would have to be the boyfriend, because the other ones just. I mean, Shaggy would be great if they did him instead, but I feel like he just wouldn't be as successful as a killer.
Why?
I bet there's somehow.
I feel like Matthew would be funnier. Like people know him more than the boyfriend.
He'd be funnier. That's true.
I bet what they're going to do is they're going to reference between Ghostface and Johnny, The Shining. Here's Johnny.
Good point.
They've done it before, several times.
done it
and
before.
So, I mean, they even do it in this game with Janet. Here's Janet. So they're going to reference it either in an intro or maybe like when he's stabbing him, like Johnny Turtle, he'll just be there behind him. If Ghostface had a quip for every character he kills, that'd be so good. Here's Johnny,
Oh,
and Johnny's like, behind Johnny starts stabbing him. Oh,
Well, to be fair, they did give Homelander a specific one against Kenshi, right?
No, that's
Where he's like just
everybody.
another useless fucking blind guy.
But he does
So if
say
that
that
made
to
it in,
Kenshi.
then maybe they'll get a specific one like for Ghostface, but just on certain characters where it'd be funny, like movie characters. I saw a really
I guess
funny
we'll
one
see
on
what
my
the
Twitter
brutality
post where
is.
someone said when when Sub-Zero's on the couch and he's watching the horror film, he's like, "That bitch looks like Tomas." It's just like him
Still-
roasting Smoke somehow before he gets killed because he just
Yeah.
the meme of him hating Smoke is like eternal.
I think someone says like in the first like one of the Chaos Reigns trailer with like Noob Saibot, it was like Liu Kang is saying it's like they're so good in you, and it shows some like flashbacks of like with him and Scorpion, with him and like Liu Kang and like Good Times and stuff like that. And then someone says like, I don't see Tomas in there, so he's still hating on Tomas even though he has this like good redemption flashback in the trailer.
I think it'd be really cool if every single victim would reference a specific movie, like a specific horror film. So like Quan Chi can reference Hellraiser because he looks like Pinhead, and then you could have someone reference The Thing. Maybe Lake Placid for Reptile. You know, like each character gets like a different film they reference, a different iconic horror film. Like they're watching that, and then he comes in and kills them. Because
that would be fun.
Because if they could do that, like, or at least if they can't come up with one for them, he references something when he kills them. Like every character, every possible one should have a specific film reference that you can pick up on and go, oh, that's what they're referencing. That'd be the cool shit, as opposed to Conan just comes in and goes, "You're an ugly motherfucker." Even though he wouldn't say that.
I mean, that'd be funny though.
I mean, if he was watching Predator or the Terminator, that'd be really funny. Nah,
I wonder how that full fatality plays off.
Conan's just gonna be going, what is this person sealed in the box? You'll think it's magic. The television. That's gonna be surreal. Conan the Barbarian in official media holding the remote. He's like, well, what are you doing? Get out of there! And it's Conan the Barbarian.
Just doing Predator Arnold. Nice. Get to the chopper.
Here's a fun fact, because I don't think Dog knows about this yet, Snake, so this should be fun. So, they've only shown this, like, teaser trailer with the mask and, like, the fatal blow, and, middle of November. Except, just a couple minutes ago.
Oh! What did they show?
Ed Boom showed a little teeny combo trailer.
Oh, my God. They always drop it. They're doing this on purpose. They always do it like an hour or 2 hours before my video goes up, so I'm always late.
Lol.
Yeah, before we started this podcast, Ed Boom just posted this.
Serious question, though. I'm genuinely wondering, why do they choose in the morning when they know everybody's at work or at school? Like, is NetherRealm's marketing team just stupid? Like, I hate to be mean, but, like, post in the middle of the day when people are actually home. All right, combo video. I love combos.
He's even got an intro with Johnny. Wait,
why? You haven't seen it, Snake. Yeah.
Why did they pair Ghostface with Stryker? The murderer with the cop?
Combos,
Murder Hornets.
Like, I mean, me for the intro. I know it's not really mass, but like Johnny's with Sonya, like for the intro. So it should be with Kano, but or maybe it's a reference. I think the killer's in one of the film is a cop. In one of the Scream films, so it could
maybe.
I think that's one of the more recent ones. So it could be a reference to that, which would be pretty high IQ of NetherRealm. That's why I don't think it's what they were going for.
I do think you're thinking too much in this, Snake, and they just want to do a combo with Stryker.
Oh, he's holding the voice changer as well in his hand.
I like that. Yeah, he's holding that on his hand.
Which is funny because that implies
that was a phone.
That
it's
implies
like a regular
he's not
house
in the
phone.
costume. He's just holding it, which means his battle grunt shouldn't have that voice effect if he has to hold it.
Maybe it's like in his coat or something. I'm not sure.
That's a cell phone, guy. It's just a home phone that he picks up, isn't it? I don't see this. I don't see the speaker thing y'all are talking about.
Look in the intro. Look when he's doing the intro dialogue, like right around like the bottom part of the screen.
Oh,
he's literally.
This is a cell phone. This is a house
it.
phone, isn't it?
His intro with Johnny.
No, that's the.
It's not just a house phone.
That's not a house phone.
Oh,
that's
you're right. It is. It is the changer. Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.
His intro with Ghostface here mentions a horror movie Johnny was in. And I knew about that movie already because it was in the files, but I think it was with a different person in the files. Like I think he referenced it to like Takeda or someone. I'm pretty sure he didn't say it to Ghostface originally, which is pretty funny.
That's cute.
I think we all knew that he was going to summon a second Ghostface for his attacks and stuff as his gimmick.
Yeah.
But out of all those attack possibilities, I did never guess that his teleport would be one of the duplicates, where they're just both on screen at one point, but it's just a teleport. But to make it more convincing as two people, he just stays on screen a bit longer before he comes in on the other side. And I'm like, that's awesome. That's good. I also find it funny. I know Kenshi started this, but I find it funny how many characters in the game we have that despite the cameo system existing, they also have their own built-in assists. They just get to have two.
In a way. Ermac, Kenshi,
Peacemaker.
I guess Garrus? Yeah.
Ghostface would it would be fun to have another Ghostface as a cameo, but they won't do that because people would absolutely complain about that.
Triple Ghostface? That just make it confusing. 6 Ghostface on screen.
It's like it becomes Smash Bros.
Oh, my bad. I thought what Snake meant was that you wouldn't actually have the duplicate Ghostface during gameplay unless you did the Ghostface cameo.
Oh,
Otherwise, it'd be like his own solid character.
I know why they
That'd be
won't do
funny
it though.
too.
They will not do it unless it's the TV version because they don't have the same costumes between versions. So clearly, it's to make it very easily, readily apparent. So you know, like, oh, Kung Lao and Kung Lao together. Okay, that one's the cameo because he's got a classic costume. That's got a modern costume, so that's the playable one. So people don't get mixed up. Because how else would you distinguish between them other than giving him completely the wrong colours? But every Ghostface wears black, so you can't just give him a different colour scheme. So it wouldn't really work. So unfortunately, we're not going to get a Ghostface cameo.
I do like basically that means that the 2 Ghostface that the player has are like sharing HP in a way. It's like all the teleporters and like they're sharing HP basically.
Which is actually a very clever, very subtle reference to MK Shaolin Monks' co-op mode, where Liu Kang and Kung Lao actually share one health gauge. Actually, a very clever reference. But
so it's hard to blame the second player when whoever is like losing or winning when we're playing together.
So Sonic knows all about that, don't you, Mr. Sonic? You know all about Shaolin Monks. You've played it now, hooray!
Absolutely. I played it for a while. I've been already working on my secret project for for a while now. I've just finished the script. Video will be 40-ish minutes, and if things go well, it'll be released by the end of November.
Oh my god.
November!
No way!
In the video, I kind of say it's probably like the messiest Mortal Kombat game story I've ever experienced. Messiest, not the worst. What? Although I do, the funny thing is, story by the way, not the game. The game is great. The game is fucking awesome. Love playing the game. There's gonna be a sucks video for it, but there will also be a gameplay video of it, so you'll see 2 different perspectives. You know, if that makes sense. I feel like I have to make that clear because I don't actually think the game is bad. I just think the story is bad.
For a little random funny thing I noticed in this gameplay trailer, might be a thing, might not. But there was an accidental post by Warner Plays Latino. They keep posting stuff by accident and have to take it down because they're posting too early. They posted like a very brief and very vague gameplay synopsis for Ghostface that was so vague it almost seemed like a parody of itself. For example, it said his special ability is stab. And people were like, huh? Well, yeah, I mean, he's got a knife. But I think we see it at the very end when he stabs Johnny, just like keeps stabbing him and drags the blade across
it's like
his
a grab
chest.
animation.
Which is actually a very clever,
I'm wondering
very
if either
subtle
that buffs him. Go ahead.
It's actually a very clever, very subtle reference because the in-universe stab movies that are based on the events of Scream, it's a reference to that.
Yep.
Very high IQ from NetherRealm right now.
It probably is. Someone said that it's the name of the films in the universe, so that could be true.
Alternatively, it's a reference to Super Smash Bros, where Joker's special move is gun, and so his special move is
gun.
For his neutral special, he wields a knife. He stabs you.
Exactly. But
oh, cool.
When he stabs them, it's so over the top. That's why I think that might be the move they're referring to. And I'm wondering if that move has some other gameplay aspect to it, like it either buffs Ghostface, he gets like more bloodlusty when he lands it, or preferably, I'm hoping it debuffs the opponent. Like it puts fear in them, or they're like losing blood, so they get weaker attacks or something. Like their damage gets lower. That'd be sick. And then, of course, the best case scenario would be if it's like Kotal Khan's command grab in MKX, where it just keeps getting longer each time you land. So the first time he just stabs him twice, throws him away. Second time, stab, stab, stab. Third time, the stab, 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 drag that we see in the trailer. That'd be sick. It just gets better each time. Oh,
that's not a bad.
It's so
that's
good. Bring that back
theory.
from Mortal Kombat X. Everyone loved that shit.
I would say this though about watching this Ghostface doing some combos here. Kind of reminds me of just looking at Smoke's gameplay. I think is the sound effect the same? Like the stabbing sound effect? I think it's like literally the same, right? Sing, 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 going around.
Maybe.
Probably.
The main difference I notice is that Smoke is more like, ironically, Smoke is more stabby and direct because he's trained. Ghostface is just doing haymakers. He is swinging wide. He is swinging for the fences. He's putting everything into it because he's just a regular guy with a knife. So he's just Hail Marrying that crap.
Less professional, just stabby, stabby.
I do love that he pulls the phone out, though, to like summon him for the like little backwards head punch.
Oh,
like,
I want
nice.
to see that. I didn't notice that. Let me see. That's cool.
Yeah, he pulls out like a regular house phone, for one of his special moves to summon the other Ghostface. He goes,
Yeah, he literally just like get out.
and it's a big old school house phone too.
Yes, it's not even a cell phone. It's like the old school. Like it's literally a telephone.
I wonder if he'll do this something similar to call in cameos as well.
Oh, right, we can see. Never mind. That's not a summon cameo. That's an instant one.
Yeah, it can't be the same because that messes with conveyance. But it could still pull out his phone to call someone. It'd be really funny if that's where the WhatsApp came in.
Wait, actually, dog. When you're talking about the accidental leak about his abilities, didn't that leak also show a lot of like? It felt like they're referencing Scary Movie like Ghostface instead of Scream's Ghostface like description.
They did say his catchphrase is "Wazap,"
Yeah.
which was funny because that's only in Scary Movie. That's not in. But like we mentioned earlier, Ghostface does exist outside Scream. Like so maybe they both count.
I'm pretty sure Scary Movie was made by the same studio.
Okay. Well, it's the Wayne brothers.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so.
I'm sure both are Miramax, aren't they?
Really?
I mean, it'd be funny if it would make sense if it was because he's so heavily featured. Like he's not just parodied; he's like very heavily in the film. Like he's a central antagonist for like most of Scary Movies. So, I love the quote that we see in the trailer too when he goes, "Afraid of a little
Films.
jump scare." Thought that was great.
Yeah,
So they are made by the same producers or what like companies?
Same distribution company.
I see. That's
There you go.
interesting
So it
that
counts.
the main movie and the parody movie are in the same distribution company. That's funny.
I mean, that's why Scream 3 has Jay and Silent Bob in it. That's real. Jay and Silent Bob
makes
show
sense.
up.
Makes sense.
Who?
For another quick fun
Dude,
fact,
Come on.
Year 2 of Mortal Kombat 1 is not going to have any Mortal Kombat characters for DLC. They're all guests.
That's
It's an observation a lot of people have made, and a lot of people are not happy with it.
You know, it's funny. Like the last month, I felt like Mortal Kombat was like super alive. Like, holy crap, Chaos reigns. Let's go, baby!
Then
Wow,
a week
damn.
later, everyone just stopped talking
A month,
about it.
a month. Don't be that negative, Snake. Come on, a month. A month later, now it's kind of like, what's up, guys? What's going on? You guys excited? Are you guys just now moving to play like Sparking Zero or something?
Now they moved over to the Tekken 8 expansion, and then they said, you know what? Maybe these story expansions of fighting games are all terrible.
And now, like, with a brief mention of Tekken, since you brought it up, there's a huge civil war happening right now on Twitter, apparently. Because I'm not even a big
noticed that.
follower of Tekken stuff, and I keep getting, like, every third post is, like, either saying Tekken 7 was better or making fun of people for saying Tekken 7 is better.
It is a war. Oh, okay. Just so you guys know, by the way, yes, this is the Halloween episode. Yes, we're here to talk about Ghostface. But this is supposed to be the Tekken episode, actually, so we're going to go right into Tekken right now.
Yeah.
Tekken is going through some interesting things, I will say. But I think mainly the most interesting thing
growing
that we would like
pains.
to talk about is how we've... What did you... What?
Oh, I said some growing pains.
Yeah. I thought you were making like a meme with the name of the DLC, Unforgotten Echoes. Is that what it's called again? What a terrible like title. Like what
I think just Forgotten
Unforgotten
Echoes, but I could be wrong.
or Forgotten. So my bad. Forgotten Echoes. See, I get it wrong. Like who thought this was a good idea for like a name? People, I don't see like Unforgotten Echoes. It's called Unforgotten Echoes. Is it people just say the DLC story? Nobody wants to say Unforgotten
Yeah.
Echoes. Like what? That is such a weird. Does that even make sense in the? I guess if you really think about it, maybe with Heihachi. But yeah, like that. I don't like that name. It's not catchy enough.
Well, it sounds better than Remembered Echoes, I guess, which is the same thing Unforgotten means, just means remembered, but Remembered Echoes doesn't sound as cool.
Unforgotten Echoes.
What it should be called is-
Echoes.
They give it a very YouTube-y thumbnail title, because if they were being literal, it would have been called The Gassing of the Gassing
Heihachi's
Up
return.
of Heihachi.
You know, something
Yeah,
like that.
The Gassing Up of Heihachi, because
Heihachi.
he's the central character the entire time. Like, it's all about
now
him.
before we get into like a general discussion, I kind of want to do what we did in the Chaos Reigns video, but instead of us just saying 3 words, let's give a little bit like a little short phrase of how we felt with the story mode. What did you guys think? And that we don't say it all together. Is that a Sonic the Hedgehog like spike, or is that just a glow stick? Yeah, right.
I love that it's like in universe canonically cocaine. Like he used it to just jazz himself up.
One short phrase to describe how you felt with this DLC story mode.
Crapped on.
Crapped on or craft on?
No, crapped. Like they took a poop on me. 'Cause I'm a big
crapped
Yoshimitsu
on
fan.
you.
I thought you were saying people
Crapped on.
I thought
Yeah.
you were saying people crapped on the expansion.
Or I thought you meant like opinions are too crapped on it, or so you're about to defend it. But no, you got crapped on. Gotcha.
I'll defend the first half. I thought was fine.
What about
I like
you,
some of the
Snake?
new lore introductions, but then they make the whole lore pointless. So I felt crapped on. That entire new faction they introduced does nothing
Snake,
and then just
dog,
dies.
dog. We're not going there. We're not going there. Calm
Sorry.
down. Calm down.
Just pee pee poo poo, haha, pee pee poo poo. Censor what I said with that.
I can't summarize it in just one word. It's more complicated.
Oh, okay.
Than that. Like, one phrase rather.
Ooh. Okay, here's what I would say. Last time when we were talking about Tekken 8, I said at least it's not as bad as Tekken 6 and 7. That was like my grand review for it. Now with this DLC story, I think maybe Tekken 6 is better than it now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, Tekken 7 still takes the cake for the worst, but like,
Yeah.
this
I
DLC
agree.
definitely made me be like, oh my gosh, this is awful. Anyways, it's funny because like you said, you were talking about some of the things in the like beginning part that you liked. Everything that I'm focused on, everything that's happening mentally when I'm thinking about this DLC is all about the Heihachi part. But I completely forget the first half, which is the first half, the first 30 minutes of Eddie and Lydia, which is
Yeah.
fine. It actually was alright. Like I was actually
Yeah.
like okay with that. And there he goes.
Eddie
There's
had the best by
Snake
far
doing the
because
Fortnite
Lydia's is
dance.
mostly exposition and just getting them there.
Yeah.
But Eddie's is actually really cool. He rejoins the Tekken Force and whatever, and he saves his little troops. That's great, you know.
You know what I think
Sorry.
about Eddie's stuff? Eddie's stuff is great, but Eddie's stuff is also just like the developers coming out and being like, we are so sorry for what you witnessed in Tekken 7's arcade ending. Like we apologize. He's not a joke. We give him all this love here. He meets Jin. He gets to like get an apology or apologize. I forgot. He then gets to do cool shit. Like, bro, we love Eddie. Here is our.
He even
like,
gets a
literally
second
that
phase.
little literally, that little section could have been its own little episode, and I think Eddie fans would have been creaming from that. Like I feel like I liked it, but at the same time, I felt like that intro segment like just felt kind of like you could have done that with like a lot of characters. Like it didn't need to just. It could have just been like, okay, let's throw in. Okay. How about Wang Jinrei, right? Oh yes, he was in the background helping out guys. He meets with Jin. They talk about Jinpachi. He gets a moment to save some people. Yay! You know, I felt like you could copy paste this with like a lot of characters. It doesn't necessarily felt like, oh, this is so Eddie centric. You know, oh, this relates.
Nah,
to
we need
Christine.
Eddie.
We talk about Lydia,
We need
like
Eddie.
how she saves Eddie. Oh, we bring up his like, you know what I mean? But like again, it's fine. I think it's an okay like intro and whatnot.
We also get a little bit more detail into what Reina's doing, which is nice because she is like, working on something. But then it gets undone, like we mentioned. Like the ending literally undoes everything in the first half, which is why I think it's so annoying to people.
That's what I'm trying my best to talk about the positives. I'm trying my best not to just go straight to Heihachi's part. By the way, I don't think they just give a little bit of Reina. They gave a lot. Have you read any of the after like descriptions about Reina and stuff?
I've read one of them, but I skimmed over some of this, so I know I know the stuff that they reveal about her backstory.
Okay, we'll talk about Reina after we're done with the DLC because
Yeah.
I know everything.
So
And it's
I actually did
very
not read
funny.
that.
So to give this
Very funny.
give this some structure, basically the story begins partway through the main campaign of Tekken 8. So
It's actually it starts before that with Eddie part.
well,
Eddie's before
yeah,
everything that
around-
happened in Tekken 8.
no,
Eddie is before Tekken 8,
No, because
and
Jin's
then-
there.
Yes, but like time frame wise, well, Jin has been with them. You know, there's like the DLC tells you the time frame, and then it says Eddie's DLC starts before Jin like fights Kazuya.
Oh.
Well, that's a question.
That'd be
Does that mean
interesting if
before
so.
the first fight with Kazuya or the final fight with Kazuya?
Yes, the first fight. The
Before the first fight. I guess
You know
that would
what? I'm gonna
explain
pull
why
up Tekken 8
Reina's
right now,
not
and I
there
can,
on the
like-
ship with them and
No,
stuff when they're talking.
no, it's not because they talk about Lydia as like the hero of New York.
Yeah, didn't that happen before?
New York is the start of the main campaign.
What did Lydia do there? Was she in the background just doing stuff?
I thought her helping out New York was like a separate thing, not related to Kazuya and Jin's fighting. Like she just helped out New York. Yay, that's it.
Well, what else would the New
No,
York
I think the
incident
Snake's
be?
right here because what else would be going on there? Yeah, unless we're talking about like way back, like way in Tekken 6 when the World War was happening. Maybe she defended New York during that, but I don't get why she would because she's Poland's leader.
Yeah.
So I
mean,
do
she
think
just
I think
happened to
Snake might
be
right
there.
here. Yeah.
I'm pulling up Tekken 8 right now, and you'll see what I mean. Like, you might be right about this, or maybe
Anyway.
Tekken 8
Because there's
DLC
that one
happens in
screenshot that
between
Snake's
the
referring
story
to where it
anyways.
shows like her fighting with the people. Yeah.
We've gotten so bad about talking over each other. Holy shit.
Sorry.
Right, so basically, it is. Hopefully, you know what happens in the Tekken 8 story because we're not going to explain that.
No,
Basically,
good luck.
good luck. The plot is Eddie Gordo shows up and he's been brought into the good guy alliance by Yoshimitsu, who's just hanging around constantly throughout the story, even though he only has like 3 lines of dialogue in the whole thing.
I feel so bad for you, dog.
He does the
I
ninja pose.
feel so bad for you, dog. Yoshimitsu lover here.
He just does the ninja pose like this the whole time, like he's fucking Ryu Hayabusa, and that's it. And then he's just like, "Oh, hi, Lydia," and that's it. That's his entire role.
I will say though, the memes. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to correct Snake. So you're wrong. This Eddie's DLC part happens before, like, Jin ever even fights like Kazuya. But then
Well, fine, then you
apparently
take that
Lydia's
W.
part happens after, like, Kazuya announces the world tournament.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a timeline they list here for you. Yeah.
I will say because Snake brought up the posted up, right? Yoshimitsu just posted like this. That did create some amazing memes where it's just that part in story mode and it says like a thought bubble and it's like they have no idea I can use Flash. His little Flash parry where he touches his sword and can like parry anything and punish things that are like -5 or -6. Sorry. For anyone not aware, Yoshimitsu has the fastest attack in Tekken 8 by a good amount.
What is it called?
Which
There's
makes
the
him
meme
very
where it's
scary
like
because if you're near him, you can just.
there's like a meme being like, "My apologies. I should not have a hit, even though I was safe on block because Yoshimitsu."
Yes.
So there is like I want to like emphasize like the sorrow I feel for you, Chono Dog, because of Yoshimitsu. If you, it's like because I remember we were talking, being like, what did he do in the story mode of Tekken 8? Where was he? He shows up in the tournament, and then he's gone. Which I was saying in the intro of Tekken 8, you do see him fight Brian in that like in the Tekken Force
For
like part.
literally
basically.
a half second. Yeah, literally half a second. It's like it's so fast that if you blinked, you might not see him.
And thanks to this Tekken DLC, we know that's not canon anymore, because Yoshimitsu was hanging out at the with the Tekken monks now. So that intro, that little thing, that's like, oh, at least he was there fighting. No, that's not canon anymore. He was literally sitting there, standing, for like the entire time until the very end, which actually means
I
what
will
the heck was
save my
Brian
opinions
doing
until we
then?
get later.
Sure. I'm just saying, yeah, I feel very bad for you
So-
Yoshimitsu fans.
So Eddie's goes there, and then he meets up with Jin. Now, for those who may not be familiar, don't know why you listen to this anyway if you're not. But basically, in Tekken 6, Eddie was working for Jin when he was had his Tekken Force waging war and that. So, which means Eddie may have taken part in war crimes, but we'll forget about that. It's fine. And
He
so
most likely did, yeah.
and basically, because he was doing that because Jin promised to use the Zaibatsu's medical resources to save his master's life from his terminal illness, and he failed. The implication back in Tekken 6 was that Jin just didn't give a shit. He just lied about it, just did what he had to get him on his side. And now it's made out that, no, he did genuinely try, he just wasn't able to. And he apologized to Eddie, and Eddie's like, all right, Jin, fight me. Then they fight, and he's like, yeah, you're forgiven. And like, I think they even use his victory pose along with new dialogue as part of the scene, which is always funny.
Aww.
And so so Jin got forgiveness from Eddie there, which I don't know. It just feels weird to me that's before the main story begins, because like I feel like the whole thing with it where he's like, oh damn, I'm so depressed now, begins with his loss to Kazuya at the start of the story. But this suggests that it was before that, because he seems very cautious around Eddie to me. So it feels like he's still in that mindset he is in the most of the story, as opposed to anything else before that.
Yeah, like we don't see this, but it's just described in the description that like Lydia saves Eddie. Like we don't see this part of like how Lydia actually brings Eddie up to like not being game ending.
Yeah, it's just mentioned that this is what happens, but we have no explanation of it. But this leads to the two being good friends, and they're just kind of palling around now. And Eddie's like trying to reassure Lydia while she's thinking about like her dead father and grandfather or whatever the fuck. I feel like because this is her first story appearance, because she was only in Seven's DLC, they needed to do more to establish her character. Because because I never read her bio from Seven. I don't know what her story is. So I feel like.
But you're a Lydia fan. Wow.
Yeah, but I never read the bio. I'm not even sure. I think she had a bio. I don't know for sure. Yeah, I would assume that I would have assumed they would have done more to explain who she is, because in terms of the actual narrative, this is her first appearance.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But it's like, no, you're expected to know what the fuck's going on. I still don't.
I mean, to be fair, there's not very much characterization to her except that she's the leader of Poland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all you get in Tekken 7.
And she's meant to be like one of the best fighters in the world, I guess.
Yeah.
This story really paints her as like, oh yeah, she's like Mishima tier fighter.
Yeah.
She goes toe to toe, which we see later on.
I know it's not like canon, but even in the trailer that shows her off, she beats everyone's ass. So it was supposed to be implied that she's really, really skilled at fighting. Yeah.
Damn. Nina's so forgotten that you didn't even mention her as a snake.
We've not got to that part yet. You
talked about Lydia. Lydia isn't brought up until after.
Yeah, because because it was you who dragged Lydia into this conversation. I was still going through Eddie bit by bit.
Lydia. What did I say, Lydia?
Sonic.
What?
So
you talked about. You know what? We'll see the replay. I forgot what happened.
Make sure you put a bit here, Sonic. That who is in the wrong.
We don't see this, but it's just described in the description that like Lydia saves Eddie.
Yeah, it's just mentioned that this is what happens.
I didn't talk about Lydia.
Eddie, he's everything with Jin, and then he heads off to help his troops out, who are in a war zone. One of the few base game stages that wasn't given any kind of story context. That it didn't show up in the story at all, I don't think. So this is explaining that. So that's the thing to do for speculation.
Yeah, that's cool.
What's the next story chapter going to be about? What place are we going to go to? Look at the stages and figure it out.
How many? Yeah, like what else hasn't been used yet? Because that's the only one I can think of. Everything else shows up in a cutscene.
There's a mansion.
Wait, no, that shows up in a
palace
cutscene
stage?
too. Like Lee's house and like the boat in Paris. That's in the cutscenes, but they're not playable in the story modes. But actually, that stage you just talked about, I think, was in a cutscene too. So maybe those will be used in the next story mode too. Now that you talk about it like that.
Yeah. So Lee's probably going to get a big role in one of the future ones. Maybe they'll bring in Kombat or something.
Hell yeah. Mokujin.
Mokujin.
Make Mokujin canon. Put him in a cutscene. I want to see him.
Yeah. Is Mokujin not canon?
Of course he's canon.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was...
So, stop sidetracking me. I know it's what we do, but stop doing it.
Eddie, Tekken Force, helping out.
Yeah, so he's going
Jack
off.
fight.
Yeah, then we fight Jack Sevens, and I was there thinking, do we fight Jack Sevens in the original main story?
Yes, in the Tekken Force part.
This is the thing they keep doing, and I don't like it, is that it used to be Jack 4 was unique because Jack 4, because they knew Jack in every game, Jack 4 wasn't in the fourth tournament because it was a mass-produced model. So it's weaker than the rest. That's why Kazuya and Heihachi can just like punch them and destroy them in one go in the Tekken 5 intro, because they're weak mass production models. Now, I know there's a bit of that in Tekken 2, sure, with Jack 2, but we're not sure. But we don't know too much about that. It's fine, whatever. Shut up. But now it's like, oh yeah, Jack 7 was in the tournament, but also the mass-produced model. Same with, I think Jack 6 was the same in Tekken 7. And then the Jack 8s are I think, well, they're not in the tournament, so it's acceptable there. But I
There's
think
only one Jack 8, I think, because he messes up even
Alisa
in Tekken 8, yeah.
Yeah.
But
and she's pretty OP, so if he can mess her up, he's pretty good.
So I personally don't like that. I think they should have a distinction between the mass-produced and like proper fighter models. But he does that, and then Nina's there, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I've done my part." After she fights Eddie, because they work together briefly in Tekken 6, so they have a bit of history, but there's not really much there. She tries to kill him. They get like a cool little. That's why they have a cool intro together for normal fights, and then she says that she's like got the intel or something and leaves. Which so far has amounted to nothing. Maybe that's going to go somewhere in the next expansion, or maybe it's just something they threw in because it makes Nina sound like she's got something going on, but she's not. So,
I feel like they just threw them so that they can make it so Eddie gets a win, but Nina doesn't get a complete loss.
Because
I
fun fact,
don't-
Nina's like lost every single encounter for a long time in all the Tekken games.
yeah, I don't think they have that much care for Nina to try and give a consideration to do that. They really don't. She's just there to be the henchwoman to whoever the current villain is. Really,
They
Which
don't
blows my
care
mind.
about Nina, but she's still like a mascot, so she's there.
yeah.
Yeah, it blows my mind because for anyone not watching who does not know this, Nina at one time was so popular, she got her own entire game. And now she just doesn't matter. It's the blow. I'm getting whiplash from this shit. Like, it hurts my neck that she's gone from like severe main character to like henchman. It's just nutty to me.
Well, I mean, was
But
she
yeah.
ever like a main character in the
Well,
storylines?
no, but she was in every single entry.
She was there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the only-
That's-
She was a
The
big
only-
deal in the same way that like Cammy is a big deal, but never gets really used either. But Cammy is like a beloved character who should do more.
Yeah,
'Cause
sure.
she's such a big
Yeah.
deal. That's like Nina. Like everyone loves Nina. And,
It's just that Nina. The only time she didn't show up was in 7 Vanilla, in the original arcade
Mm-hmm.
release. Even Jin wasn't in that.
Oh, interesting.
that's
I didn't know that.
crazy.
Yeah, 7 Vanilla was like,
Vanilla
Real-
7 is very weird.
yeah, it was dumb. Because for the longest time,
I'm so glad we're done with that shit.
For the longest time, there were 4 characters who were in every single entry. Those being Paul, Heihachi, Nina, Yoshimitsu. And currently, if you take the fact that Nina wasn't in that version of 7 into account, and Heihachi not being in Vanilla 8, Paul and Yoshimitsu are the only ones left who've been in every single one.
Interesting.
Yes.
So yeah, so
Yoshi-
she was a big deal, and now she's just here to just work for whoever. Because it was one of those weird things
Yeah.
in Street Fighter Cross Tekken where she was randomly paired with Kazuya, because like I guess those two characters had no one else to pair with.
Kazuya pays enough money, I guess.
But now in Tekken 8, it's like, well, now it makes sense. Now it does make sense. Now it's like,
Literally
it only took a
gun for hire,
decade to make it make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, back on track. And Nina
Yeah.
does nothing, continues to do nothing, and then F's off.
Yeah. Then
Well, she tries to blow them up, though. At least.
with
tries.
just self-destructing jack robots. Well, not even self-destructing; they're just carrying huge bombs. And then Eddie
Which is so funny. I love that. That's so Tekken because it's serious but super goofy at the same time.
Yeah.
'Cause it's serious in the sense that we've been like she totally backstabbed me and like she's trying to kill me anyway, but also just drop the bombs. It would have been more effective than having the jacks show up carrying them because you have time to assess the situation and actually do something.
Gotta do that. It's gotta make it look goofy. This is Tekken. But I like it.
Man,
I
it's
do
funny
like
stuff.
that. But I like what happens afterwards a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the peak of. We are so sorry for what we did to Eddie in Tekken 7. Please forgive us. Because Eddie like kicks one of the jacks and goes flying to the others. There's a huge explosion. And everyone's like, oh, Eddie Taicho!
Eddie Kaijo!
Eddie
Eddie
Taicho! And then Eddie's just there like doing that capoeira leg spins and like controlling the fire, turning it into like a tornado and blowing it out. And it's like, yeah, he's just doing capoeira. And like his power level is so high now, he can just extinguish these massive explosions.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just fine.
Oh yeah.
That's peak Tekken ridiculousness that I like.
It's so silly. So okay. So the Tekken Force at present, because Heihachi was in charge of them in Tekken 7, but then he died, and now have they joined up with the Remnant split off faction? Because Lars had his own his faction that split off, like a separatist faction, and that's what he was leading, right, in Tekken 7. So now has the main Tekken Force joined up with them? Have they all reintegrated?
That's a fair assumption. That's a
think
fair
so.
assumption because Lars is the person we see meeting with everyone to like explain stuff. So it would make sense if he's actually the leader right now. That would be cool, and it would give him an actual like arc from like past games that he's finally like in charge. It'd be kind of cool.
Oh, by the way, dog.
We know
I
it's not Nina. It would have been another logical choice if she was still working with Jin. Because in Tekken 7, it kind of felt like she was the second in charge, but then Heihachi just showed up and is like, "I am the boss now. I've climbed to the top of the tower and beat everyone's ass. Therefore, I'm canonically now the boss."
That was the point where it was clear that they really didn't know or care what to do with Nina, because she stayed in charge of the Zaibatsu while Jin was missing. Makes sense because she was his right hand woman. And then Heihachi comes and takes over, and with Jin missing, I guess it makes sense for her to stick around and help out, because it's still opposing Kazuya, which was like a big thing Jin was doing. So that makes sense, and it's fine. But then, after she tries to retrieve Jin from people who have like got him in a coma, which is Lars's faction, I guess for Heihachi, but then when she fails that, she just fucks off and goes back to being a normal assassin. And then Kazuya just hires her. And it's like, what is happening?
Yeah. Now, that being said, there is one possible thing that might come from this new development in Tekken 8. I don't want to give the writers too much credit, because it's very possible they just ignore Nina and pretend like she doesn't exist, so they don't have to write this. But Nina like despises Heihachi. So now that Reina, like, not to spoil the ending too much, but she's supposed to work for Reina, but now Reina is working for a certain someone that Nina hates. So she would definitely leave. She would not stay with that group anymore. So is she going to get like a story development in that regard, where she's back with the good guys? Or, as like Snake said, she might return to a regular assassin for hire? What's going to happen? As long as she doesn't stay working for the guy that she definitely hates, like with a passion, all is well. This same person even beat her ass off screen in Tekken 6, which was one of her biggest low points, but still very funny in hindsight. Yeah.
Nina and story development. When does that ever go hand in hand?
Anyway, I only mentioned that because we talked about Nina for a split second there. But, okay.
Absolutely.
Take it away, Snake.
So,
wait. Before we continue, though, I have to bring this up because I rewatched our Tekken 8 discussion episode just to prepare for this. I thought it'd be kind of fun. There have been a couple comments calling you out, dog, specifically.
Let's go.
Because there's a lot of Lars defenders, and you shit on Lars a lot in that story mode. You're like, they're pushing Lars hard. And so someone's like, actually, Tekken 6 Lars was able to match Kazuya at the time and has wins over Azazel, Alisa, and Jin. Those are for like the final bosses of T6 scenario campaign. Get Lars' name out of your mouth, dog, or some shit like that. There's a couple of
but I mean,
pissed.
have you ever seen... Sure, my issue is not him being able to fight. Okay, for one thing, it's super buffed up Kazuya, who nobody can step to. So Lars defending that makes zero sense. Plus, that laser beam we see Kazuya do before he even gets the buff at the very start of story mode is like leveling the entire city. If you're telling me that wouldn't just instantly KO Lars, I don't know what fantasy world you're living in. And that's just regular Kazuya in devil form. So super buff devil Kazuya doing that same beam attack should just rip the skin off Lars's bones. Like, I'm just gonna be real here. Like, that's what it should do.
Well,
the writers could have at least had him dodge it, but they have him tank it. Which is ridiculous.
He is the son of Heihachi, the motherfucker who can't die, like, no matter what.
He is of the Mishima bloodline.
It would have been straight Heihachi too.
Well, it didn't. I mean, Heihachi has survived worse.
It would. This is not just regular devil Kazuya. This is like him absorbing Azazel completely. So he should be very, very, very powerful. But it's just like anime logic. Actually, whatever. I don't actually like Lars a lot as a character. I just thought that one moment in particular was hilarious, because that would be like the equivalent of let's think of some minor character in some other game. I guess it would be akin to Reptile just tanking several direct hits from Shao Kahn.
Not quite.
Which I just don't think he can do. Again, I love Reptile, but I don't think he can do it.
Again, Lars is Heihachi's son. So he does have the
Reptile was Shang Tsung's bodyguard. I mean, he's pretty strong.
He's not genetically predisposed to being a tough motherfucker, dog. He's just a lizard boy.
He's going with.
He's just a sexy lizard boy. That's it. What are you talking about?
All right. I don't remember these feats they're talking about with Lars. I don't know if they're actually canon. I'll have to double check these feats and see if they're actually like.
However, I will agree with Dog on one thing, which is that just the one, which is that because it mentioned Azazel was absorbed by Kazuya. Lars couldn't beat Azazel in Tekken 6. Jin had to do it.
That's what I thought.
The comment isn't beat. It's like stand toe to toe. You know, like they're able to like hold themselves. If that makes sense. Like that's one of the things in the comments that says.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not talking about the comment. I'm talking about the fact that Lars is able to withstand attacks from Kazuya, who has Azazel's power, but he couldn't even beat Azazel before.
So, he thought he beat him, you know, so he did at least do something to him.
Oh, he pulled a Paul? He pulled a Paul.
Literally,
gotcha.
right?
He thought he won,
like,
but he just
weakened
Jin,
him. Like, your whole plan failed because I already beat Azazel. Jin's like, what the fuck are you talking about? There he is. Okay, now I'm going to fight him. And Lars like, oh, I guess I
Yeah, but
what?
Sonic, the power of belief has nothing to do with it. It doesn't matter whether he thought for a time that he had done it. The fact of the matter is, he couldn't beat Azazel, and now Azazel's power is being channeled through Kazuya, and Lars is just tanking it. Like it should be do a lot more to him. He should be getting decimated because Kazuya's more powerful and he has Azazel's power together. Now it's not necessarily like 1-to-1, like both one like Kazuya plus Azazel, but clearly he shouldn't be able to be perfectly as fine as he is. He should at least like get a severe injury. I know this isn't Mortal Kombat, so he's not going to get his arm like splattered off, but he should take some kind of injury, not just being like the typical Japanese thing. Like, I'm holding my arm because I'm injured.
He does like he gets back up. Oh, I'm gonna fight you to my last breath or some crap.
Does he actually do the Vegeta arm hold? He doesn't, right? It's just like Snake making that joke.
It's been a while.
He
I actually
probably
don't remember
does,
exactly what
but I wouldn't put
That'd
money
be,
down
I
on
love
it.
the Vegeta arm pose. Is like immortal. Like it's a way of showing injury. You're always doing the Vegeta arm hold.
Eddie's guys do that. Eddie's guys do it in the expansion. Eddie Taicho.
It is so anime. Yes,
it is.
But like, no. Just for anyone watching, I don't have beef with Lars. Just that one particular scene I thought was hilarious.
I'm mixed
I
with Lars'
actually
character.
like Lars. I love when like characters like him are brought into the main story and stuff. And get to do really cool stuff and all that.
I did want to like play as him because he's got a lot of those stances on the screen, which actually
and they're
does seem
natural.
kind of fun
They're
to play.
transitions. Yeah, they're very natural stances that happen during combat. Very fun.
But anyways, that
Very
was the
not
Eddie
good at
part.
high level play though.
Okay.
So the pulling a Mortal Kombat and just splitting into chapters by character. So after the so after the Eddie part, we move on to Lydia, and so Lydia's just joining them, and they don't really explain why she didn't take part in the tournament, but it is suggested that she almost regrets not doing so or something. I don't know, but
she's busy with the Tekken monk situation, right?
Yeah. So basically, the idea is that she meets with Reina, who is been an informant for her. And then these guys show up with this like weird special essence that like makes her see things, so they have an excuse to do all kinds of weird shit. And these are the Tekken monks, which are a thing that was these guys who practice the Mishima style martial arts, and they think that like Kazuya has made it impure, and so they want to make it pure again. And the way they're doing that is through Heihachi. So they basically bring in Lydia, who was like the best fighter because she's like perfect balance or something. She's basically achieved ultra. She's basically achieved ultra
something,
instinct.
yeah.
And
we want to find someone pure of heart.
Something like that, so that she can take.
Which is
part
also
in this-
Yoshimitsu, but fuck it, whatever, you know.
Yeah, Yoshimitsu's that. So
Someone's so mad.
So then she has to fight like Shadow Heihachi or something, which is pretty funny. I think. No, it was Shadow Kazuya.
Kazuya.
Yeah.
Shadow Kazuya.
Yeah, Shadow
the other
Kazuya.
guy fights Shadow Heihachi.
So she
Who
fights.
fucking cheats, by the way. Sorry.
Who's what?
What?
That enemy cheats. He becomes invulnerable. He'll phase through attacks and stuff at some points and just say F you.
Oh,
Like, wait a minute.
So she does that, and then they're like, "Oh yes, you are perfect for this. You'll do this." So she goes and meets the newest initiate of the Tekken monks, which is this guy, this bald guy, with like he's like long hair down like this, but he's like bald on top, and he's got like black red beads and all this, and it's like, oh, it's Heihachi. And it's like, well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
We all knew going in that's what it was going to be about. I mean, they showed it in the trailer. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Well, for one, actually, wearing the black gi with like the red beads is very similar to a costume that... Well, it's similar to Akuma, which may be intentional, but it's also similar to what Raiden was going to be, as Dark Raiden Deception in early concept art. Anyway, so...
cool.
So basically, you look at this going, okay, so how did Heihachi live in Tekken 7? Now, obviously, we didn't see him hit the lava. So how did he survive falling into the lava? And it's like, oh, this Tekken monk flew in like a ninja and grabbed him and saved him. And was Kazuya not looking? Was he not?
I know. Was he
the whole
blinking?
time. He was staring the whole time. Yep.
I was screaming at that moment, being like laughing at that. Oh my! This is what He should have just hit the lava. I would have believed it even more then. If he literally has like that like like when he uses heat, doesn't his skin turn red, as if to imply he was in a lot of hot like degree, like like lava or something like that, But no, he gets cut. Like somehow the Tekken monk knew like ahead of time to be just like whoop, swoop it. I laughed so hard on that part.
So stupid.
And Kazuya didn't see it, which he was staring the whole time. He sees a little evil grin too. Which now, if they want to really retcon it, they'd have to imply that Kazuya saw him get rescued and for some reason found that comedic and didn't give a shit, which also just doesn't make sense. There's no way to justify... It doesn't work. My theory before this got explained was that he'd be a clone, actually, but with the memories like implanted into his body. That was actually my theory. But
there is something to that, because in Tekken 5's Devil Within minigame, there actually is a clone of Heihachi that you fight at one point. So there is something there where they could have just used that to have a Heihachi clone, and it would have been a way better explanation. So what we
this
actually
is quite
have
literally, we want Heihachi to be alive, so we're making shit up.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Literally.
It's so bad.
What was it? Okay, we will get more into this, but I am so impressed with how Tekken 8, already the base game, kind of already shits on Tekken 7 story mode. But now with Heihachi back, I'm like, why even play Tekken 7 story mode? What was the point if he's just back? You can literally just be like, okay, in Tekken 6, Heihachi like got defeated. You can just tell you like a bit of a summary of Tekken 6 and just connect it to Tekken 8. It wouldn't make a difference. It's like, what? Like, I literally am looking at Tekken 7 like how like Todd Phillips, the guy who directed Joker, made Joker 2. Looking at Joker 1. Yeah, fuck that. Like, am I right? Fuck Tekken 7. Right? This is where we're at now.
So now that you mentioned that, my girlfriend and I have been watching Pitch Meetings lately, that amazing series on YouTube. I can just picture those two people in the room where it's like, wait, Heihachi, but didn't we kill him off in the last game? Wasn't that like the whole send-off? That was the whole point. He's even the main character. He's even in the main menu, and it plays like sad music. Wasn't that meant to be his final game? Why is he back again? Because money, sir. Oh, that's the thing I like. It's like, yeah, that's why he's back. That's the thing. Money. Ooh, I'm on board now. Let's bring him back.
It's also Harada's 100%. Favorite.
Yeah.
It's like Harada's favorite. Retcon everything. Make Heihachi cooler, baby. Oh, true. So, yes.
So Heihachi shows up, and he's got amnesia, so he doesn't remember who he is. Obviously, these Tekken monks know exactly who he is because they've been practicing the Mishima style, and they're trying to train him up, effectively to be a weapon against Kazuya, to kill him, to purify the Mishima style.
Was it Kazuya, or
and what's hilarious is that for anyone watching this, he does actually have amnesia. Like he's not faking, just to spoil that in advance.
The meteor is not a threat; it's part of the ritual.
The trial. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. They're specifically training up to kill Kazuya to remove this impure version of the Mishima style. Weird how they never don't even bring up Jinpachi. Like, what's his part in all this? Like, because it's like these people who aren't part of the Mishima family but practice the Mishima style martial arts, and they're training him. They're training Heihachi up in the more pure version of their style, so that he can like go. Oh no, my brain is melting.
Jinpachi doesn't matter ever since Harada was like, yeah, no, he doesn't have like the devil gene, like that. No, he doesn't have that. Oh, what's that? The Mishima family? He didn't start that. Like Heihachi started that. Fuck Jinpachi. Fuck everything he represents, right? Because Harada, I mean, sorry, Heihachi's the cool one, guys, right? Yeah, give all the lore to him.
But real quick, I want to mention something funny. So he does actually have amnesia. It's not him faking, which I thought could be definitely a possibility. No, he does actually have amnesia. This is confirmed, which is hilarious because the fight isn't ended with him taking a big blow to the head. He gets punched in the chest, and it stops his heart. That's even subtly implied that Kazuya hears his heartbeat stop. So he's already dead once. Then he tosses him in the lava, and he dies a second time. But you could argue the monk saved him and did CPR, right, and resuscitated him. But any doctors, feel free to chime in, but I'm pretty sure that would not make you lose memory. Because his brain was not what was like damaged; it was his heart. Like he had his
You're
heart
thinking
stopped.
Too specific. Anything can make.
Why does he have
lose
amnesia?
memory
I'm just wondering. It didn't fall on his head. why does he have amnesia?
In these types of like stories, it's like, oh, just amnesia because he got hit hard. Like there's so many times they do these sort of things.
It's like how in anime when they're punched in the stomach really hard and they black out. Yeah, it's that meme. Gotcha.
Yeah, I will say something while playing this story mode. When it's brought up, oh, so he has amnesia, I just checked out. I was mentally just like, what? What, do you really think he's gonna have amnesia the whole time? Do you really think they're actually gonna commit to a good guy Heihachi? Ha ha ha! Very funny.
It would've
You're
been
wasting
dope.
fucking 20 minutes of my time pretending like you're gonna redeem this amnesia man. Cause you're not going to. I can see through you, Bandai Namco writer team. Okay?
Yeah.
Wasting my goddamn time. Goodness gracious. That's how I felt throughout the story mode the second half.
So you're right. Our best hope, our only hope would have been that when he gets his memory back, somehow it kind of fuses with the amnesia version. So like he becomes like a more, like he's still crazy and like ha 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 hey Hachi, but he's a bit more good oriented, a bit more anti-hero because he's merged with the purer version. That would have been somewhat interesting. Some animes have done shit like that before, but no.
Well, but actually, on the subject of the amnesia, is it possible the Tekken monk sealed his memory away? Because the Tekken monks
Unclear.
they're basically ninjas. They do ninja magic
Maybe.
shit. So
It's not really important, but maybe.
I imagine if like Lydia still tries to arrest him, like he's still, it's like he has amnesia. He's still under arrest for some serious war crimes, and as the leader of like an entire country, I am arresting him on behalf of the world. Like he's coming with me.
But instead, she just kind of lets all that go because this could be.
They need him.
Because this is set during the main story, and Jin has already lost to Kazuya by this point. It's like, well, this could be the key to stopping Kazuya because Heihachi has beaten Devil Kazuya in the past, so. It makes sense. Oh, actually,
True.
what's really funny is that the little files you get at the end of the game, they actually retcon Tekken 4's ending.
Oh no.
Because originally,
Oh, no.
the original story was that Heihachi hosts the tournament, Kazuya's going to fight Jin in like the final, Jin gets captured by the Tekken 4, so Kazuya goes through but automatically and fights Heihachi and loses. Now, Kazuya won Tekken 4.
They
That makes
changed
more
it?
sense
Yeah.
to me.
They changed it. I mean,
That makes more sense to me.
It might not be an intention.
Dog. If that makes more sense to you, then how does Kazuya be like, I win? Okay, fuck off. Because the ending is Heihachi wins and is like, haha, okay, now I'm going to take you somewhere interesting. Follow me. I think you're interested in Jin, right? Well, why would Kazuya wouldn't be able to initiate that if Heihachi lost? Is
Oh, no,
Heihachi
I get
being
that.
like,
I meant power level wise, it makes more sense. I don't think Heihachi wins that.
okay.
Because he's only getting older. Like, he's getting older in each game, and, like, he already lost to Kazuya
Dog.
when he was normal.
Heihachi's age does not matter. It doesn't matter in the slightest.
No.
He got blown up and sent
He ages
flying
like
miles
wine. He
away,
just gets
landed in a
stronger.
grave, and was just unconscious for 2 months, and he's fine. Like,
True.
that doesn't matter. He hasn't slowed down one
Fine.
bit
Well,
in his old age.
even so, still, based on what we already know, I feel like that Kazuya still takes it. But that's just me.
but yeah,
Unless
so-
for some reason, like, because he was like, he was pretty much dead until they revived him with a bunch of technology and shit. So maybe that version of Kazuya is just weaker because his body's holding on by a thread with tons of scar tissue.
Oh,
So maybe
actually,
he's just weaker.
he
But-
hasn't combined with Devil yet
Yeah.
in Tekken 4. It's the ending where he's like, I've combined with Devil. Now I'm Kazuya, not Devil, but I'm still evil. You know, that's actually before that happens. So
yeah.
it's just base form Kazuya. It's not Devil.
Which is one of those things that they just completely forgot about. Like, he basically takes over the devil power, but then that's
Yeah.
it. Like, he doesn't actually manage to canonically absorb the rest of the devil from Jin. So he's still not at full power. He never has been. But he has no interest in that anymore. He just kicks the shit out of Jin and just leaves him. So,
Okay.
yeah.
He has some devil power, though, because in the intro, even for Tekken 4, he has the glowing red eye. So there's definitely some devil
he
influence there,
just
but
has. He has control of that power. He's into the devil personality has merged with his main one effectively, but his motivation of fall was that he was trying to get to Jin to absorb the other half of the devil that was inside Jin, but he's not doing
Oh,
that.
really? I forgot about that.
He's not doing that anymore.
All I remember is he says, like, I'm taking back everything. And he punches the
Yeah.
camera on the intro. So
I'll get everything back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, so Heihachi has amnesia now, and the thing is, honestly, I actually really liked the amnesiac Heihachi.
Okay.
Me too.
You mean the character or the idea?
Both actually, because it's like, well, you're bringing Heihachi back, and like one of my biggest criticism of this whole thing is not just the fact that it's fucking stupid the way they've gone about it, but the whole idea of you make a whole game That's about setting up Heihachi's death, and then he dies at the end. So the next game is the world without Heihachi. Now the Mishima conflict is boiled down to the last 2 survivors. Okay, the story's moving forward. And then we have Kazuya and Jin's final fight. It's not clear if Kazuya's dead or not, just from the main story, but, you know.
we don't know, yeah.
But, yeah, but then they're setting up what the next thing is going to be. It's another Mishima, but at least it's a new character, it's Reina. But then they're bringing back Heihachi. And, like, what new can you really do with that character? It's just Heihachi again. But the idea of him coming back with amnesia and being like, I don't remember who I was, what I did, but I know I did a lot of bad things that I need to atone for. And I will fight this Kazuya guy. I like that idea. I think if Heihachi had not gotten his memories back at the end, because he does, spoiler alert, if he had not gotten his memories back, and if he had carried on as this amnesiac Heihachi, and like probably just kept the hair as it was, like when it's down to show that this is a different type of Heihachi, that would have been way better. It could have set up some really interesting things. I mean, as it is now, what's it going to be? Oh, it's literally Heihachi, Jin, and Kazuya, but Kazuya's now a girl. Alternatively, Kazuya's power's gone to this girl, and then he's going to show up again, and he's going to be like, oh, I'm a changed man. June showed me the error of my ways. Or alternatively, he's going to show up and go, yeah, I'm still doing the same shit as always. I'm just not going to powers anymore. And
I'll just take Reina's double gene power and go back to, base form Kazuya.
And we're just in this constant cycle of the same characters doing the same shit over and over again. Whereas if whereas imagine a Tekken 9 where Kazuya's out of action, maybe dead, but he's out of action, and it's Jin versus Reina. Jin doesn't have his powers anymore, but Reina has hers, and then it's Heihachi who comes in for the save, kind of like in Kazuya's Tekken 2 ending where he like takes a devil blast for Kazuya, but now it's now it's like amnesiac good guy Heihachi working together with Jin. Like Jin has to reluctantly accept Heihachi's help, even though Heihachi once shot him in the face, in order to fight Reina, because Jin doesn't have the power to take on a devil. Heihachi's a tough motherfucker. He can at least be a meat shield, and that's the role he intends to play, to take all the heavy hits, so Jin can like get his heavy hits in. That's way more interesting than what we're obviously going to get, which is Reina's like, yeah, I'm the devil now, and then Heihachi's going to go, I am also here. I'm here. Isn't that a new idea? Heihachi Mishima, fighting a devil and Jin. What a new concept. We've never seen that before.
Yeah, I get what Snake's saying, because the only way they could have brought back Heihachi and made it unique is to keep him amnesia-ridden, but they didn't do that. So now it's just literally recycling, and that's why I didn't say anything, because I didn't want to get people upset. But there was that award given recently. It was posted on Twitter how like Tekken got an award for the longest running story in a fighting game without any resets and stuff. Like it's just been going the whole time. And I was like,
that's funny.
Well, yeah, it's not hard to achieve that when you just keep recycling everything. Like it's legit just taking turns of who's it's still the same triad of guys though. It hasn't really, for most of the characters, nothing has developed with them in like the past 3 or 4 games. They've done nothing.
Yeah, like the last development for this conflict.
Jin might be the only one, but yeah.
The introduction of Jinpachi was the last development. After that, it's like, okay, well, Jin being a bad guy, I guess, is something they introduced laws, but that was in 2010, and we've had nothing new since then.
I thought it was 2008. Like, I thought it was longer.
It's a 2-year difference, Sonic. At this point, it doesn't matter.
Okay, I'm sorry.
The point is over a decade and a half, if Sonic's
I
right.
wanted to emphasize like how long it was.
Oh, also, so I wanted to mention this too, because Reina was mentioned. So if Heihachi had stayed amnesia as his new character, right, if he kept his memories lost, imagine how much that would shatter Reina's world, because she's doing all of this in like honor of her father, right, of Heihachi. So she'd be like, I did it. Look, father, I did it. And he'd be like, I have no idea who you are. And she's like, And also my values are completely the opposite of what they used to be. So like you're kind of a disappointment to me now.
You're kind of a dick, honestly. Can you leave?
She'd like be so mentally shattered and fried, and then she makes the full conversion to Jury Reina, where she's just evil the whole time now. There's no more like I'm sometimes good. She's just forever evil now because she's been mentally broken.
That would be the setup for the final fight, where she has like a complete mental breakdown and goes like super Devil Reina, and said Heihachi and Jin have to fight her together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even the idea of
like her body, like M. Bison, and unlocks psycho energy.
Even the idea of like a 3-way like Mishima conflict, where it's like a 2-on-1, is a new idea.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so.
But they're not going to do it.
The closest we got is Tekken 4 to Tekken 5's intro, Whereas like it's like they kind of have a three-way, but then like Jin runs away, so it's just yeah.
We've got to find out who the writer is for this game so I can be mad at him.
Dog, don't. don't go that route.
I just find it funny how that's a mystery. Like, everyone knows the writers of Mortal Kombat because we crap on them all the time. I got to know the writer for Tekken 8. I got to know.
But I saw this meme. Like, this is the ending Snake wants to see. This is the ending Snake wants to see.
Complete disbelief.
Again, I agree with you, Snake, on like this version of Heihachi would have been cool. I just knew from frame one, frame fucking one, that they were not going to commit to this shit.
Well, Sonic, you say that as if you didn't see the trailer where he shows up and goes, I'm Heihachi Mishima! Which, by the way, is some absolute fucking Sony Spider-Man level marketing. That's the last thing in that fucking story mode.
Hey, come on! That's shit talking the three people who try to fight him.
Could you? So, do you want to know what my theory was? My friend asked me, like, what do you think is going to be the actual lore development with Heihachi? I was like, all right, Hail Mary here. And I don't know why I thought this big. This is like way too much to ask. I was like, okay, so the Heihachi we see with his memory loss and all that is actually not Heihachi. That's like a clone that is now being repurposed for the good guys. The one we see laughing maniacally at the end, it's going to be revealed they only cloned Heihachi because they thought he was dead. Very similar to how when Superman was killed by Doomsday, there were so many attempts to like replace that new figurehead, either from corporations or from just heroes that want to do good. Well, here's like a corporation trying to repurpose Heihachi for their own means. Right? Here's the clone Heihachi who's made good by suppressing his memories. But that evil laughing one is the fucker who survives somehow, and they're not going to explain it. But that's the OG Heihachi, who is then going to actually fight Clone Heihachi, or Clone Heihachi's just going to die or something. But like, that's what it's going to be. That's the only way I can see them having both those things be canon.
So you thought that they were basically going to do like how in M1K we have Bihan Sub-Zero and Noob Saibot on the roster together. We're going to have two Heihachis on the roster.
Oh, that's going to piss so
just
many
story-wise,
people.
yeah. Not in the actual gameplay, but just story-wise, yeah. I thought they were going to have two of them on the table. Yeah.
This reminds me of Sindo and MK11 Aftermath. Kitana, I love you, my daughter. I'm such a good person now. Like,
Only there was way more obvious. I will give them.
Really? I felt like, at least if you've never seen any intro dialogues, remember any trailers.
True. The intro dialogues, and Snake had to be vindicated twice. He was like, "Hey."
At least early on, like they did a good job portraying Sindo as like a really virtuous, like wholesome person or something. To me, even though I already knew.
No, Tamisha sounded like a liar the whole time.
Okay.
Maybe you were just easily fooled, Sonic, but I didn't buy it for a second.
Oh. Well, I knew Heihachi was gonna like be evil at the end, even though he had amnesia. I just knew they were gonna... That's me looking at the writers, where I was tricked enough by the mommy goodness that she provided. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, these people do not have
I chose to hope. I really did think that maybe he'd be
to
different in story, but during gameplay be evil. Yeah, they really don't. Like, I hate to triple down on this, but I was right. Like, they're really scared of change. They will just keep recycling the same thing. Even Street Fighter 6, bringing back Bison, like, who also has amnesia, doesn't he? They're just copying each other. I really do think that, like, I've already joked about this, but I really do think that the creators of Street Fighter and Tekken do meet behind closed doors, because they keep copying each other, not just like in story and lore stuff, but even in gameplay. Like, it's just very similar with the new stuff they add.
Oh.
Like V-Trigger and Heat are very similar. The zoom in on the muscles and stuff was showcased in Street Fighter's tech demo stuff too. I'm like, okay, they're meeting behind doors and doing this stuff together. And now we have both the main villains returning with amnesia. Like, come on.
There are many like fighting game developers in Japan that go like switching around SNK to Capcom all the time and whatnot, and like very possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There was a part in the story mode that was like Heihachi was fighting with his own evil self in his mind, and I'm just like, come on! Like, oh yeah, he's gonna defeat the evil version of him, and it's just gonna be gone forever. Like, this is so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
If it did work, awesome.
So essentially, to get back on track with the story, Lydia's asked to help to be Heihachi's opponent in this like big part of this trial, where to like prepare him for this conflict and whatnot. So then they have this fight. Heihachi wins. I'm pretty sure he plays. It's in Heihachi's chapter, right?
Heihachi versus Lydia. You mean the training parts?
Yeah.
They keep going back and forth, and the screen goes upwards, and it goes like sunset, as if they just kept fighting all day.
Yeah. So they have this big thing, and then Heihachi's now ready, and it's okay. Now the next part of the trial is there's this meteor that comes down every 200 years, and so Heihachi has to smash it with a punch. It's like, I know Heihachi's stupidly powerful, but at this point, what is the difference between him and a devil character now? He's so absurdly powerful.
Yeah.
So he comes down, and
I mean,
he doesn't
I've
even
told you
punch
guys.
it. Here's how dumb this plot is. The meteor's coming down towards him, and he goes... Yeah! And
No. He does start with a punch. He does start with a punch.
He
then
catches
he
it
goes
first,
with the
right?
headbutt.
Yeah.
He headbutts the
He
meteor and
can shock
shatters it, and that's how he gets his memory back. A severe blow to the head. And he's just like, oh,
Yep.
I'm Heihachi Mishima. And then he just like kills all the Tekken monks. Well, okay, he beats them all up. He throws the main two off a cliff. We don't see them hit the ground, so they're probably fine. And one of those is the guy who saved him. So which is really funny seeing that guy because he's like bigger than Heihachi. He's like Fukuram size. It's so funny.
Oh yeah.
I do like the
that's why
Yoshimitsu
he's
comment
just
being
useless.
like
Yeah.
they literally were the Tekken monks literally saved you and helped you and nurtured you and did all this. Why are you beating us? What? Why?
Yeah. So he burns.
I could write an essay on just the meteor part alone if you don't mind. I want to say some things about the meteor.
Sorry, go
So,
ahead. Yes.
Number
girl,
one,
go.
I've joked before about how if you look at the feats Tekken characters have done, they are all actually superheroes, and it's kind of hilarious. Which is why Eddie Gordo doing the capoeira to disperse the inferno, I just find completely plausible. Because I've seen them do ridiculous stuff like that before. Like we see, I know it's in a pachinko machine, but Marduk and King stopped a train at full speed by just standing in front of it. So, like, I mean, that's not a meteor, but that's very impressive. Like, they're just ridiculous. Jin threw Kazuya through an entire building, just straight down, through all the floors, a skyscraper, in fact. And the dude shrugged it off. These people are insane. Like, their power levels are off the charts. So the meteor thing, whatever. But here's the funny part to me. They go out of their way to show you that it's not that meteor they're talking about. It's a fragment from the part that they're fighting on in space that was caused from an early explosion. That's not the meteor. That's a different thing that he stopped.
That is the meteor.
I'm pretty sure the idea is that Jin and Kazuya just so happen to fly onto the meteor when they're having their final fight.
Well, yeah, basically, Jin and
I thought
Kazuya
they
were
made
the
that
ones
meteor
that
from the prior
caused.
explosion. I thought they caused that.
It's them who caused the meteor. Okay, because it's like they were on the ground, then they go JoJo like part 2 into the air, and then it explodes, and part of that hits the Earth, and that's the 200-year meteor.
But how would they know that? They could just see that's not out every 200 years. That's a new thing. It's a new meteor. It's also, by the way, not a meteor by definition if it comes from the Earth, but whatever.
It's like it's a meteor hits every 200 years, and that meteor just so happened to be caused by Kazuya and like Jin. It's a fate thing.
That's not.
The thing
that's
you
my
hate
issue.
the
That's
most.
not the same thing. But that's already incorrect. They'd have no way of knowing that shit. If they did, and they can see into the future, they would know that Heihachi becomes evil again.
Well,
so that doesn't make any sense. But
there's a difference between this doesn't make any sense, so that explanation is clearly wrong, versus this makes no sense. The writers are fucking stupid. There's a difference between these two ideas. So I think...
And that's just one part. So part 2 of this nonsense about the meteor being tied to that actual final fight, which it didn't have to be. It could have just been the meteor they were talking about that loops back to the Earth every 200 years or whatever. It could have just been that, and it would have been fine. But no, they purposely tied into that fight, which means now Heihachi just happened to be meditating in the correct spot at the exact angle that it would get launched towards him from these two people having their ending fight. It's just... This is statistical improbabilities that border on just it's otherworldly. It's unknowable the odds of that actually happening.
It's destined, dog. It has to happen. It doesn't matter where Heihachi is. He will hit the meteor.
But that's my little
destiny.
rant about the meteor. Like,
It's
because like
fate.
Snake said, him even catching it and destroying it is hilarious enough. I'm more laughing at the absurdity of like how all that just worked out to come his direction, and how it also wasn't the meteor they were talking about. It was some other meteor.
Tekken 7 wasn't the real fated retribution. This was.
Fated. Okay, I want to bring up something really funny. Before we get that final fight with Heihachi, it's like we go back to the Tekken monks training grounds, and you see all the Tekken monks on the ground. Before that happens, we see Lydia just on her own training on a rooftop. Osu. Yeah. I'm just thinking, girl, a gigantic meteor just flew right next to you. Why don't you care about that? You're just here training. Oh, we have a meteor coming to Earth. Who cares? Oh, da. Okay.
Would it have been like a better ending if the meteor just killed Heihachi and life goes on?
Yeah.
Sure. Yes. At this point,
Do you
why
think people
not?
be more or less mad?
Definitely. No. No. You see, the Tekken fans, the hype fans, just want to see Heihachi wreak havoc. So if he dies like that, then that would make them mad. But it'll make us happy, though.
The funny thing about all this is that the whole setup is that they're training Heihachi for this coming meteor, so that he can go and fight Kazuya and defeat him. Even though the meteor, the chunk cracks that falls off us from this landmass, where Jin and Kazuya are having their final fight, where Kazuya dies. So by the time Heihachi gets his memory back, it doesn't matter anymore because
It's already over.
Kazuya's already beaten. So now Heihachi's like, oh yeah, I'm back. I'm just going to fight Jin in the next game.
No, Snake. He's like, oh, I'm back. I'm just gonna go to the Mishima headquarters and take it back again, like I did at Tekken 7. We're gonna replay the exact same
I'm still gonna
cutscene.
beat Kazuya's ass, but that's because he's unaware of what's transpired.
no.
Yes, he's unaware.
Tekken 9's intro is going to be so bad. It's going to be, cause that bit in Tekken 7 where it's like, oh yeah, we're going to have a fight that calls back to the Tekken 5 intro, as well as having you play the Tekken 5 intro. They're going to do that with the Tekken 7 intro. It's going to be like, oh yeah, remember that time? We're going to flash back to when Heihachi, with that dog shit character model they had in Tekken 7, was fighting his way up here, fighting all these robots. And also, Nina Williams was there. We're going to show that happening and flash back to that. Remember that iconic moment from Tekken 7? We're going to flash back to it. So iconic.
They do the flashbacking like a bunch. Oh, Heihachi, Tekken 3, Tekken 2, Tekken 4, Tekken 5. They love doing that.
I wish they would learn that flashing back to stuff from, like, it's hard to take a moment seriously when you flash back to like PS1 CGI FMV footage. That is clearly like an older aspect ratio that's mirrored on the side or whatever to make it to stretch it out. Like, just zoom in on the footage for fuck's sake. Or recreate it with a newer engine. It's not difficult. Why?
Well, obviously they know the fans like it, right? Fans love it when they flash Tekken 2, Tekken 3 footage on your screen.
Oh, you mean better games?
Remember this? Remember that? Remember this?
Member berries. I thought what Snake was gonna say is like they redo the Tekken 4 intro where Heihachi's already in charge, but like this unknown silhouette figures are like destroying all the Zaibatsu and going up the tower. And then it's revealed that it's like this Avengers-esque team, right? It's Jin, Jun, maybe Kazuya's there as like a limited time alliance.
Dog, that's a new idea. We don't have those in Tekken.
You didn't let me finish, though. I wanted to do a member berry at the end. So they look at the camera and say a similar line like, we'll take everything back. And then it shows Heihachi, but he's next to Lydia. And they both simultaneously go, deluded fools. Like the same line, but at the same time. See, that way it's a member berry, but it's new. Not really, but they would think that as developers. I think that's so clever to call back to Tekken 4, but just with more characters this time. Yeah, it's silly. It's dumb.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. By the way, Reina. Now we've like mentioned Heihachi getting his memories back and all that.
Wait. I want to talk about something. So, in the gameplay part, when you fight Heihachi, he's angry. Like, Yoshimitsu, Eddie, and Lydia try to put up a good fight. I don't get, like, Lydia's character, but she has stances, right? She can, like, go in stances. When you fight her in that boss fight, does she have, like, a limited, like, stacks or something? Have you noticed that? She just keeps going to like super armor move, super armor move, super armor move.
Well, the way it normally works with Lydia is I think she's just permanently in heat is what that is. The same way that you are. Like you're in permanent heat too in that fight. I know. Snake's laughing. Listen, Tekken fans knew this was going to be a problem the second they announced the name of that mechanic. Because you say, oh, a character goes into heat. And it's going to be funny like no matter what. So it's going to be... We saw it the second we heard heat, we're like, character goes into heat. But yeah, Lydia's in heat the whole time, which is why she has access to her like her really good stuff.
Now we need Roger Jr. back, so that way a character can actually go into heat.
In Tekken 9, in Tekken 9, Heihachi's going to fuck Lydia, and then she's going to have his kid, and that kid's going to be the main character of Tekken 10.
Okay, at least you were more wholesome with that. I thought it was going to go worse.
We're going to go full on Josuke Higashikata. It's full on just Josuke. I mean, Heihachi's voice actor played old Joseph. The previous voice actor played old Joseph. So
my god!
Yeah, Heihachi's just like in bed with Lydia. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh no, I would hate that so much. I saw a very funny post on Twitter, and I didn't
bet it
understand
wasn't
at the time because it was kind of vague. It didn't explain the actual story spoiler. So when I finished the story, I finally get what this meant. It was about Reina. It said, "I can't believe that Reina got Forest Lawed in her debut game." And I'm like, damn, that's true.
I
She's
saw that
already
tweet as
number
well.
2 immediately.
Have you seen the meme?
That was a
of,
really
I think
funny
Snake,
tweet.
Snake, you retweeted this. You know the first time meme?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's like Asuka looking at Reina first time.
Yep. Asuka still does not get redeemed. She doesn't do anything. So that's
That's
still,
why Asuka is all. Yeah, so we're saying, is Reina gonna do that now? Is that gonna be Reina's fate?
probably the most
We'll see.
action that the most action that Asuka got was me playing her at Evo. That nothing else has happened for her. You know.
Yeah. So
Nothing
at
else
the
big.
end, when you said when it's like I'm gonna take up my promise and go fight Kazuya now with my new powers. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the story. What did you learn that's new? Like some sort of electric. You
I'll
learned Black
explain
Flash?
this because it's also really stupid. So apparently, after destroying the meteor, like he was going to be taught the main technique, this secret technique. That's what he was told.
Oh,
Like,
really?
you'll
Is
get
that
the
how
secret
it's-
technique after you, because the meteor is the last step of your training. After that, you'll be ready to get the new technique. Either I misheard that or the writers misunderstood their own goal, because instead, him destroying the meteor unlocks this new technique. Like
I
he
actually
gets the
don't
power
remember
of the
exactly.
meteor or
It's
something,
either-
because that's the new technique.
It's either that or it's that his training will prepare him to smash the meteor, and if he can do that, that's a sign that his training is complete. It's one of the two.
But they did say secret technique.
Yeah.
They said secret Mishima technique, like ultimate technique. And even when you're playing as him, he
I
goes,
think it's the
"I'm
headbutt.
enjoying this new technique." Yeah.
I think it's just
Yeah.
the headbutt that smashes meteors.
Maybe it's
To which
heat
I
mode?
joked that the new technique is just the heat mechanic because he didn't have that in
Right?
Tekken 7. And he's
He
like,
goes heat
"Ooh,
mode.
look at
His
this
body
shit."
goes like
Oh
his
yeah,
body gets like hot.
Yeah, heat mode, the secret
Well,
Mishima
not-
technique that everybody has.
Yeah.
They're just copying him the whole time. They just didn't know it. That's just his ancient Mishima technique.
His body turning more red is not because of the lava; it's because of the meteor, right? Is that the implication?
Mhm.
No, it's just to make him look like Akuma. Which is funny,
Oh,
actually.
I thought it was just like, I
because-
thought it was even dumber than that. Where like a lot of anime and stuff. I don't think that Naruto started this with Rock Lee getting his skin red when he opens the gates, but that's what I always think of with the person being more powered up and having veins and turning red. I always think Rock
yeah.
Lee.
Or people getting drunk, like drunk fighting, they turn more red.
It
and stuff.
shocks me
That's true.
when I was going through those files and reading the description of Tekken 7's plot, and it does mention Akuma by name. I was
Yeah,
stunned.
he's canon.
when
Wait,
they
in
did
Tekken
that.
8?
Yeah, from 7's release, I was like, there's no way they're even going to reference him. They're probably just go, oh, a mysterious warrior. No, they refer to him by name.
So Tekken 8, they
Yeah.
bring up Akuma in the descriptions.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious because
Very cute.
I don't think the writers care or like the developers care, but this now means that like the two worlds are on the same location. Like Street Fighter universe and Tekken universe take place on the same planet. That
Not-
is the implication.
Not necessarily, because
I
like,
think it's a KOF situation.
yeah,
Right.
it's
But
possible
but
Akuma
Akuma
just
even
exists
mentions
in
that
this universe.
Kazumi saved him. He owed her a favor. So Kazumi is like interwoven into Akuma's lore.
Yeah, but Akuma himself doesn't reference anything from Street Fighter. He doesn't even mention the Satsui no Hado, I don't think. So I think it's just a version
Oh,
of
it's a
Akuma.
Tekken 8
multiverse
version
thing.
of Akuma.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Look,
Well,
I
then
don't
we
think
can't
even,
complain about
Which
MK
is
doing
really
it because
funny
Tekken did it too.
because this guy's like, oh yeah.
I don't think even Bandai knows what the fuck they're setting up, honestly.
How many
to be fair.
times have Heihachi and Kazuya both collectively been presumed dead before Akuma has successfully killed one of them?
Yeah.
He's so bad.
Well, also,
He's
it's a
such
fun fact that Akuma has
colossal
like failed to
failure.
kill anybody.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
he failed to kill. Yep.
Akuma has a extremely funny record of not killing anybody. Like he keeps
The
failing.
The only time,
But-
the only one he's killed is Gen, and also his master.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the Gen one, they retconned it that he survived, and then Street Fighter 5, they're very abrupt, like, okay, now he fights him again and kills him for real this time.
Yeah, for real this time. Which is a shame because that was only one of the only cool things that Gen had going for him is that he like survived an Akuma encounter. But here we go.
Everyone does that,
So
it's
let's
fine.
talk about the actual fight itself because this was also building rage within me because
Sure.
finally Yoshimitsu
Okay.
gets to do something.
There we go.
He's just an
I wanna
opponent,
hear this.
but he gets to do something. Go ahead.
Can we take a quick break?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll do a little pee break.
Yeah.
I need to check on this typhoon.
Let the rage swell within you, dog,
Commence.
before we come back.
To be
the
honest, I haven't ever
angriest
let all my
piss.
rage out yet. By the way, later on, I'm pretty sure both of you aren't certain about the Reina situations, right?
I'm not. Yeah.
Then I'll talk about the Reina situations, and I'll let you guys hear, because I know everything. At least from what I recall, the most interesting parts of it. Okay, BRB.
I gotta drain the old lizard. I gotta bleed the old snake. And yes, it is striped. For anyone wondering, he is striped. Still not very green. I just blame the webcam.
Okay, dog. You actually scared me there.
Oh, why?
I was the first one back, and I was like, oh, cool, I'm the first one back. I'm checking, and I went to my window to check the typhoon. Typhoon's really big right now, like the rain and the wind. Then I come back, and then I look up, and I barely see you because your like shirt and the hair and the coloring fits so well with the background. So I'm like, you're not back yet. But then I look at it, and also it's kind of like jittery. I just see like jittery you like right there. Oh shit, dog is there.
Imagine how scary it would have been if I had the makeup on. I just don't feel like doing that.
Oh, that's fair.
My girlfriend didn't want me to wear the makeup either, and that's where we had a funny back and forth with the costume shop owner. She was like, "Oh yeah, I had that philosophy too. There's two ways to look at like a Halloween costume for couples. It's either do you want to be as accurate to the character as possible, or do you actually want to see your partner, but they're just wearing a costume? It's those two like options, and I chose like I still want to be me. So
that's an interesting way of looking at it.
Well, I brought the makeup if she wanted to do it because she's good at makeup. So if she wanted to put all the makeup on me and make me look actually like Beetlejuice. In fact, the wig for Beetlejuice even comes with like I joked that it looks like cannabis. It looks like weed, but it's the crap on his face, like the little green stuff that's on his face in some spots. It's that. It's like grass pretty much because he's dead. Which doesn't make any sense when you watch the sequel because the way he dies would not have done that. But you know, and Beetlejuice lore, they inherit the body they die in, but.
Who does?
You know, this is whatever.
Beetlejuice.
Oh.
Beetlejuice.
I don't give a shit about fucking Beetlejuice, you fucking Tatsumaki One Punch Man looking ass bitch.
Tatsumaki. Are you talking about that little girl who uses like the force abilities?
Yeah. No, Tatsumaki is a spinning kick. Oh, I see. I forgot that was like her name. I was thinking the actual like Ryu attack. My bad, Tatsumaki. Yeah.
Tatsumaki Senkuken.
Yeah,
like that.
Tatsumaki.
So after Heihachi gets his memory back, he burns the place down. Eddie and Yoshimitsu and Lydia rush to face him, and then one after another, as Heihachi beat them all down. First Yoshimitsu, and he throws him into a wall. Then Eddie, and he launches him into a statue, and it collapses. And then he beats the shit out of Lydia, knocks her out, and then he's like, ah, ha, 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 and then he walks off.
You guys really just took away my rant there. I was gonna go into a rant, and then did everyone just forget that? That's what we left on?
Dog had his.
No, one cares.
I mean, it's
really?
fine. I can still do it. Snake's synopsis doesn't ruin it. Okay, so yes, there's that big fight, right? You play as Heihachi. You're gonna beat everyone's ass, which is already upsetting because you spent the game playing as them. I guess that the developers don't realize that you don't want to beat the shit out of the people you just spent, minutes or hours playing as.
What are you talking about? It's Heihachi. He's awesome. You want to see him beat up everybody.
So here's the funny part. Yoshimitsu finally gets to do something. Yoshimitsu is canonically a pretty badass dude. Well, he gets beat, but everyone's going to get beat, right? Not a big deal, except all he does is get like thrown through a railing or like over a railing. It's not even that big of a finisher. Whereas Eddie and Lydia both get second and third phases. Like I think Eddie gets 2, where he seems like he's out, but he's like, "No, I won't give up. I'm gonna stop you." And he gets more powerful, right? And I'm like, "Oh, cool, something nice for Eddie to do." Then, in hilarious Looney Tunes style fashion, he gets like torpedoed into a cliffside, like out of nowhere. Heihachi can just punch him so hard that it sends him, whoo, which is hilarious. And Lydia gets 3 phases, I think. And which again, she's like the pure of heart warrior. She even channels that ability they gave her with the monks. They taught her how to like access her inner strength. She even accesses that in the middle of the fight to get stronger. So we're seeing the lore actually come into play, but it means nothing because Heihachi beats everyone's ass.
Fighting Lydia felt like actually fighting like a boss character with her like constant armoring and stuff. Also, this thing was brought up on Twitter and I thought it was very funny. Lydia literally tried to use the power of friendship, and Heihachi was like, "Nah, fuck you," because Lydia tried to rage art, and you see it, and then Heihachi is like, with the flashbacks too. I need to do it for my people. I need to do it for my grandfather. Shut the fuck up. onto Lydia.
Yeah.
Power friendship means nothing.
And I get that it was meant to be funny. It was meant to be comedic, but it doesn't really work only because the build-up's been lesser for Heihachi, I feel like. He just gets to win because he's Heihachi. Whereas Lydia had like the motivation, the power-ups.
That's a big win.
She's the good guy, and then she still gets like, knocked out of her super cool moment or whatever. So it felt cringy, but well, Sonic just left, so I can't say my biggest rant.
But I'll just say this.
I'll wait for.
On the subject of Yoshimitsu doing nothing, him being there at all just seems weird because the only characters who get spotlight, there's a bit for Lars, which makes sense because of the story. Reina, okay, makes sense because they're important to the main plot, and this is a parallel plot, so it makes sense. Yoshimitsu's just kind of there. So I wonder if, because this season of DLC has 4 characters, but only 3 are in the story. And the story came out after 3 of them, not after the 4th. So I already thought the fourth character is going to be a guest character. There's no question.
Yeah. Oh, we're talking about the 4th character? Okay.
Yeah, because if it's a guest, there's no reason to wait until all 4 characters are out. If they put in like Craig Marduk or something, it's going to be like, why isn't he not in the story then? But I wonder if the intention originally was to have 4 characters, they're all going to be in the story, and then the decision was made, we're going to have a guest character instead, so like the other characters got cut, and so now they're like, oh well, we've already written the scenes, Yoshimitsu doesn't do anything, we'll just put him in there.
Yeah, and it's sad because I thought for sure the only reason that Yoshimitsu was included when I first played the story, and I saw him there right away, I was like, oh, because he didn't get to do anything. So now he's get to actually play a role in this new chapter. That makes sense. He gets to finally do something. Not really. He gets beat up by Heihachi. And you noticed that earlier I mentioned that Eddie and Lydia get like a second and third phase. Guess who doesn't?
Yeah.
Yoshimitsu. He just like clown. It's a one and done. Despite how we even see in his arcade ending that Yoshimitsu has a second form. If you manage to actually defeat him, the sword takes over and he becomes like a possessed version of like Shin Yoshimitsu. But we don't get that here, even though it's like very heavily foreshadowed in his own arcade ladder.
So it just feel like Yoshimitsu's just there to fill a slot because they needed someone else, and they don't have another new character to feature because they're not going to feature any characters who are already in the base roster. They're not going to feature those in the DLC.
You say that, but
it's about the DLC characters. Therefore, he doesn't get to do anything. Whereas if they had kept in like Marduk or whoever the fuck, I don't know why that's my go-to example, then they would have gotten a second form.
The leaks are hurting you.
But there's nothing really to showcase by having you fight Yoshimitsu. So he just gets to go away after one fight.
You say fill a slot, Snake, but even that's not true because it doesn't do anything. He could have been completely omitted from the story and it's unchanged.
Yeah, I think part of the story was already written.
So he's even less than a slot. He's there just to get his ass kicked. He does like nothing except stand around and get his ass kicked.
That's a 2 to 3 minute like duration for Heihachi's fight.
Yeah,
now that I think about it, why was he even there?
Yeah, like I said, I do suspect that it was going to be someone else, but then that character got removed because they were going to do a guest instead. And then when that character got removed, they'd already written some of the story, so they're like, well, instead of rewriting it, let's just replace that character with Yoshimitsu or someone. And then we're not going to spend time focusing on Yoshimitsu because he's not a new character. So he can just go bye-bye. Yeah. And so it just this unfortunate confluence of events leading to one of the most iconic a character so iconic, he transcends this series and is a major recurring character in Soul Calibur as well. A different version of a different Yoshimitsu show, but that's still a thing. And he just shows up and gets rocked.
Also in every game, and a very iconic character among the fan base. But that's not all that happens. After you win the fights as Heihachi, they make sure to show you that he found their bodies. Like he went out of his way to like go to the cliffside where he spiked Eddie and drags him all the way back. And also make sure to grab Yoshimitsu and drag his sorry ass also back into the arena just to hold them up like, Kazuya victory animation style and laugh at how pathetic they are and then drop them. Lydia doesn't get quite as disrespected. She's just on the ground like, no, I want to stop him, but I can't. She doesn't get like picked up and laughed at because sadly, Heihachi only has 2 arms. I'm sure if he was Goro, they would have had him holding up Lydia by the throat too because he has the arms for it.
Given the way given the way they love glazing Heihachi, he probably could have just picked her up with his cock, let's be real.
Yeah, he did get glazed pretty freaking hard. That's true. I could be overthinking this, but I believe based on Yoshimitsu's ending, they're trying to imply that he's very old and the sword is also starting to win out over him, which is why it takes control and has him defeat Brian, but it's in control. And he walks away kind of like, ashamed, like, oh no, I'm losing to the sword. And for anyone not aware with the lore, every now and then they do change owners of the sword. Like the clan he's actually from, the Manji clan, they do switch out the person holding the sword, but you get the name of the sword when you're in control, which is Yoshimitsu. The blade's actual name is Yoshimitsu, which is the name of the evil spirit that possesses it. And they need someone who's a strong fighter and pure of heart to command the sword, so it doesn't possess them, right? So Yoshimitsu is getting too old. I think they're about to pull a King 2. Whereas in Tekken 9, it's going to be Yoshimitsu 2. So this might be his last game.
Dog.
And this is his send-off.
Mr. Big Soul Calibur fan who never gets to talk about Soul Calibur. Why is King the comparison you're making here, and not Soul Calibur Yoshimitsu, where they did this exact thing in Soul Calibur 5?
Because it's a different series, that's all. I'm doing a Tekken reference for a Tekken game. That's the only reason. I know about what you're talking about. Although Soul Calibur 5 was made redundant with the reboot, but, you know.
Do we even know that if this Yoshimitsu has been the same throughout the years?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
In Tekken, yes.
I mean,
in Soul Calibur, there's 2.
Unless they do a twist and go, oh no, it's actually a different person every time, which I wouldn't put it past them to just say, fuck it, let's just do that.
I wouldn't put it past them to pull a Master Raven, and in Tekken 9 we get a Lady Yoshimitsu, and I'd be completely fine with it. I don't think that it would be a big deal, but I would not be shocked if they try that.
That idea, because didn't she say she's gonna like replace them or something? I'm here to avenge my mom and grab your sword. I forgot.
Oh, Kunimitsu, the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Kunimitsu got a number 2 before Yoshimitsu. That's kind of funny. In the Tekken series, the spin-off of Yoshimitsu.
In anime fighters.
Maybe they're setting it up so that the original Kunimitsu is going to become Yoshimitsu. She's gone through this whole redemption thing. That's what the next story is going to be. Is Kunimitsu 1 comes back and she's like, yeah, Kunimitsu 2, get out of here. You're irrelevant. Kunimitsu 1's coming back, taking the name back. She's going to get the moveset back, and she's going to go, I'll be the new Yoshimitsu. And like, Yoshimitsu's reason for being here is to set up her appearance in the next DLC, where she's going to fight him and go, I have the power now, Yoshimitsu. Finally, yes, Frost was ripped off from me. How did you know?
Wow, you're sure setting up for
that would actually make more sense, because for the new Kunimitsu to become Yoshimitsu would be to immediately invalidate her appearance. So it would actually make more sense that the new Kunimitsu stays Kunimitsu and the OG becomes that actually would make more sense tonight. That's a good idea. But my point is, I do think that ending, I could be overthinking it, but that ending for Tekken 8, like his arcade ending, does seem to imply that he's on his last leg. Like he's on his way out. So they may end up replacing him in the next game. And if that's the case, and Yoshimitsu does not get to do anything else in Tekken 8, then I'm just even more upset and sad.
I'd like to bring up 3 things after that discussion. For one, I find it really funny that Dog is like, oh, who haven't they used in the base roster in the story mode that they could use here? Yoshimitsu. I'm sure they can develop a lot of different things for him in the story mode. Like, by the time he said, I think they can develop, like, the writer team's already cut that part out. They're like, okay, base roster haven't used them. Done. Like I
never thought development. Basically. I just thought he'd do something. I don't think Yoshimitsu needs character development. He just needs to do something of plot relevance, which he still really doesn't. And I'm like,
another funny thing to mention is like he throws the 2 Tekken monks off the cliff, but he doesn't do that for Eddie, Lydia, and Yoshimitsu. He's just like, he
respects them.
You can lay here. You're good.
Maybe,
to a tiny extent, he
maybe it's a
them.
hint that the good Heihachi is still alive in there, and he's thankful to them for helping him get his memory back.
Oh, thankful to them, not the motherfucker who fucking saved his life.
Well, yeah, because they were suppressing who he was. They knew who he was, and they kept that secret from him.
Oh, you're going with the theory that... Now, here's the thing to mention. That because I had this realization like a couple minutes ago. I was like, and I wanted to bring this up. You know the end credit scenes of Tekken 8? There's like a lot of characters. And you remember one of them who shows up in that credit scene? You know, when everyone's happily bringing the city back, giving soup to the homeless, and what's that? What's that? Who's in the car?
Oh, in the car, I see Huarang. Who's yeah, he's just on the roof. Yeah, just doing his little manji little thing. Yeah.
Technically speaking, this happens after Heihachi beat the shit out of like Lydia, Lydia, Yoshimitsu, and Eddie. So.
What you said isn't incorrect, Sonic, because Heihachi did beat the shit out of Heihachi.
I guess so, because in the mind, yes. Yeah, I just realized that kind of funny. They're like, wait, so I guess he's okay then? He just stood up. Oh, I'm gonna go on his random.
It's also so dumb. Like, The issue is not glazing Heihachi. Like, yeah, that's a bit cringe when you go that hard into it. But the real issue is that this entire ending undermines the entire story. You might as well just play as Heihachi from the beginning because the rest of it didn't matter. It all gets undone. Even an entirely new faction that just got established. And I want to say, despite it being shoehorned in and not really making sense, I was on board with the Tekken monks. I liked this new faction. I thought it was interesting. I liked this new faction. I wanted to see where it would go. Turns out nowhere. It's all just to glorify Heihachi, give him a bunch of people to beat off screen, which is just like craziness.
I love their theme song, and I also love their outfits. Heihachi with the Tekken monk outfit. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too.
I think that the Tekken monks would have actually made a way more sense if it was the Hachijo clan.
Ah, sure.
Yeah, because the Tekken monks are just butt in like, oh, this has existed like throughout how long? Because like it seems like they've been around for generations, but now we see them.
But it's not just a faction that exists. It's a faction that is tied directly to the Mishima family.
The Mishima.
So, yeah.
They don't give a shit about Jin's Tekken 6 War. They don't give a shit about like what Kazuyo did or Heihachi did in Tekken 7. It's funny when you try and butt them into this universe.
Whereas if it had been the Hachijo, it's like, okay, well they're just going to let them kill each other and then go in and finish things off afterwards. That would make more sense. But as it is, the only even acknowledgement of the Hachijo is in the files that you get for finishing the story that explain Reina's backstory.
Yes. Shall we get into that, gentlemen?
That is why I did the segue, yes.
All right, then. Now, there is the in-game part of it, but then there's also the other stuff that I think this part genuinely makes me despise, like, what the fuck they're doing with Tekken. But anyways, did you both see the in-game files of, like, what they established with Reina?
Before we do that, there were a couple of extra scenes they added, new cut scenes. There's one of Leo meeting up with their father.
Yes.
That was neat. I like that. Cornered by Tekken goons, and then the Papa Cleason comes in. He's like, yeah, and it's like, yeah, he's a good dad. Kinda, I like him. I mean, he did leave his kid behind, and now he's like making up for that. I reckon he's going to be. Yeah. I reckon they're going to make him a playable character in the next game, or in the DLC.
Some love for Leo, yeah, for this. Leo fans are happy.
And then we get confirmation that June is alive. Definitively, absolutely, yes, she's alive.
Yeah. Also, I think there was like a description saying like when Jun was hanging out with Kazuya in Tekken 2, like they were like, "Oh, I kind of like this guy," haha, and like while they're dating and whatnot. I think in the description, I could be wrong about this. Jun doesn't know about Devil Kazuya. Like he just knows that Kazuya is evil. That's why she tried to approach him. Something like that.
Okay.
Not important, but yeah, I just
stop teasing me with the Reina extra lore in the in-game file. Stop edging me,
care.
Sonic. I want to know.
Okay.
No, Soul Edge is better than Tekken, so we're gonna keep edging.
Nobody plays Soul Edge.
It's a deep cut. It's a deep cut calling it Soul Edge. It's a deep cut.
In the game files, we see in the description, it states that after Kazumi's death, aka Heihachi's wife, Heihachi went on a rampage and started like massacring like basically everyone in the Hachijo like clan, every single motherfucker. But then around like one of the last persons that he sees is a little baby girl, and he doesn't massacre her and like adopts her. And that little baby girl grew up to become Reina. And by the way, congratulations, the Force Snake, you 100% predicted this in our last Tekken discussion.
Did I? The only other way it makes sense is if Heihachi went on the warpath after Kazumi died and just wiped out the Hachijo, but there was like one kid left, and he took her in and raised her in secret.
Yes, in the comment section, people are now saying that aged well. Holy crap! Like Snake, you 100% just said the exact thing I just said. You can go back in the timestamp in our last video too. So congratulations, Snake. Woo!
I can't believe she's not even a blood relative, and she goes this hard. By that logic, shouldn't she hate Heihachi because he destroyed her entire culture, clan, and heritage?
Oh, you're looking at it from that perspective?
Assuming she knows, she probably doesn't.
She knows enough to know who Heihachi is, but not enough to know that he... I don't know.
I mean, no one knows who the Hachijo are, it's not difficult for him to cover up the fact that he wiped out this entire clan.
I guess.
Okay.
We're assuming that he has any, like, I didn't think, my original theory was that she didn't even know him at all. She just knows him through, like, what he's done in real life, but never on a personal basis. Like, they never even met before, was going to be my understanding. But,
well,
this is one of those rare situations.
No, because given Reina's age, she's younger than Jin. She calls him senpai and everything. Yeah. So, when did he do this? 'Cause this wasn't after his wife died. This would have been years after Tekken 2.
These writers just suck. They can't even get basic shit like that right. They can't even like understand that she would be older than Jin.
No. It's like he could still be massacring the Hachicho family all the way till now. Who knows?
So throughout throughout Tekken 1 and 2, he was also doing this thing.
That's what I mean.
Doesn't work. Doesn't add up. This is one of those funny situations where if they had done less work and just said, "Oh, he's an unintentional child," like she's literally one of his bastard kids, that would have been a better explanation than this.
Yeah, because they already have the setup because Lars exists. Heihachi has had sex with other women after the death of his wife.
Fun fact, by the way, Harada recently came out and explained why he did that. Why did he have sex with a bunch of other people and had a bunch of illegitimate children? It's to prove that he doesn't have devil gene STD. He made a tweet about that recently. He's like, that's why Lars
didn't
exists.
Harada even say that he has a lot of illegitimate children?
Yes.
Like early on, like to explain Reina, but then she's not an illegitimate child. She's an adopted child. So even that's not coherent.
I'm gonna explain more of that, which is gonna be really funny.
This is so stupid.
See, Harada.
This is actually worse than Mortal Kombat writing.
When it comes
this
to
is worse.
story,
Would you like
Harada to me?
Would you like me to get worse?
One second.
Because I'm not done yet. Sorry, go ahead.
When it comes to speaking out about explaining things on Twitter and that, Harada comes off like a J.K. Rowling type, where it's like every time you open your mouth, you make it worse. Stop.
Yes, he actually is, unfortunately. Yeah.
Which weird because
it's not that bad though, Snake. It's not political.
I don't think he even works on the story to any substantial degree. He probably has some ideas. I'm sure Ed Boon has some story input, but I think it's I'm sure he's like Ed Boon. He's not like the Dominic Chancholo of this. He's the Ed Boon of this. He doesn't write it. So let the actual writers explain it, Harada. You make it sound worse.
Oh yeah. This is where I feel like they really fucking fumbled with Reina's situation. So funny. Well, I'm more pissed at Heihachi, but that's the in-game description. We have some other things that I can talk about here that will kind of break your minds. Not in like a, oh my gosh, more like you actually physically break it and die kind of way. So if you play the game and there's intro dialogues in the game, right? Oh, Heihachi versus Kazuya. You get Heihachi Kazuya doing a punch and Heihachi doing a headbutt. It's like, how can't you fucking die? And stuff like that. Mm-hmm. There's some pretty funny ones. Reina and Heihachi's intro dialogue is Reina being like, "I'll make you proud, father," and Heihachi's like, we gotta hurry up and awaken that devil gene inside of you, Reina. That's in the game. Yeah. That's their intro dialogue.
I saw that.
Which is just like, wow, I really don't understand how this game just keeps on spitting on Tekken 7's legacy, or what thereof, lack thereof of it. Because wasn't the whole entire point of throwing Kazuya down because he wanted to kill the devil gene? So why is he trying to awaken it from? Why did he even save Reina? What is this fucking motive that they decided to give all?
I think it's so he can weaponize her against Kazuya, because Kazuya hated him from then. So, or maybe he knew about Jin and it was an insurance thing or something.
Yeah. Doesn't he hate the devil gene? He fucking massacred the entire Hachicho clan, and now all of a sudden, oh no, one is fine. And I'm okay awakening the devil gene for her.
No, I don't. He wasn't doing it on a noble crusade. It wasn't a crusade to wipe out the devil gene. It was get revenge of the people who tried to have me killed by making me fall in love with one of them.
But doesn't he throw Kazuya down because he hates the Hachijo clan and the power?
No, I believe the explanation is he threw Kazuya off the cliff to test and prove whether he had the devil gene, which never made any sense to me. If he falls off the cliff and dies, then he was an innocent child and I just murdered my own son for no reason. Or he has the devil power and then he lives and comes back for revenge. The motivation made no sense.
I have the answer to all of these.
Okay, dog.
I have the answer to all these questions in order. So The first question was, why is he trying to unlock Reina's devil gene? It's even simpler than Snake was trying to explain. She's just a weapon. So whatever means to an end she will play could be anything. But he just wants to have a weapon like that on his side. That's the beginning and end of it. She is loyal to him. She has this really powerful weapon. He wants to utilize that. To answer your question, Sonic, about doesn't he always hate the devil gene, it goes back and forth. Because in one of the Tekken games, he was trying to find a way to isolate the devil gene to use it for himself. So he's been trying to do that before. So he's never been anti-devil gene. And to answer the final question as to why he tossed Kazuya off a cliff, that's been retconned like 3 times. So before they even had the idea of devil in the very first Tekken game, it was based on a myth, like an urban legend. So apparently the idea was that lions toss their kids off a cliff or whatever, whichever ones climb back up, are strong enough to rejoin the pride. That's why he tossed Kazuya off the cliff. If he survived and climbed back up, he was strong enough to be his son or whatever. Later on, it was retconned that, he thought he had the devil gene, so he tossed him off. It was one of those like Salem witch trials, you know? If you die, you're innocent, but if you live, you're a witch and I kill you. So it's a lose-lose situation for the person being tested. That was the retcon. So, yeah, I don't think Heihachi's actually against the devil gene at all, unfortunately.
I guess it's on and off then. Yeah,
Yeah, and originally Kazuya and Heihachi had different personalities, but as the games have gone on, they're pretty much the same person, I feel like. Just one of them is more hilariously evil, like Heihachi and laughs maniacally like a supervillain, but they're both literally, I want to be as powerful as possible, and anyone who gets in my way, I destroy. They both kind of have that personality now, which used to be different. They used to have different personalities, but now they're the same. Yeah.
I've done a bit of a goof here because I've kind of given you guys only one side of the coin because you guys are defending that side of the coin currently, but I kind of accidentally forgot to mention this other side. This other side, what makes it like Snake, you just said, J.K. Rowling. So this all started with one fan art. Because of that intro dialogue, people are now being like, Heihachi loves his daughter. I just sent a fan art over here. This fan art exists. It's like, hey, I love my daughter. Fuck my grandson. Fuck my son. But I also love my bear too. Fuck my illegitimate child. But Reina, you cool with me, man. Love you, Reina. And guess who fucking reposted this? Quote retweeted this.
Reina.
The man himself.
Let's see what he says. Heihachi has numerous illegitimate children. I doubt if he remembers Reina very accurately.
Yeah.
The man needs to stop talking.
Again, he used that.
Like, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but oh my god, he needs to stop talking about the story. He's doing it no favors.
We now have 2 perspectives to look at this angle. We have angle A, Heihachi wants to unleash the devil in Reina for his own goals. Angle B, Heihachi doesn't even know Reina exists. We are living in these 2 worlds, by the way. We don't know which one is the correct answer currently. He still loves his bear no matter what. Actually, what's really funny...
Yeah, he does still love Kuma. Yeah.
What about that fan art is I think the artists actually retconned their own fan art eventually and did a new version of it where it's like, wait a second, I don't even know who the fuck you are. Where's my bear? Or something like that. Point is, Harada makes it seem like he doesn't give a shit about Reina. Which then I'm like, why the fuck did you save her then? You were there to annihilate the Hachijo clan. No. I'm gonna let this innocent little girl live. I'm gonna treat her as my daughter. And who the fuck cares?
Is it ever even implied that he treated her as his daughter? That could be that's our own headcanon. All we know is that he spared her.
It's the intro dialogue. That's it. That intro dialogue was
I'll make you
proud,
That's not even always canon.
Yes, exactly. So either it's the intro dialogue or it's Harada's word.
Yeah.
Or neither.
Well, we can't trust him. He said that Heihachi was dead multiple times. So I will say that that's 100% a lie because he didn't even get revived. He just didn't die at all. He didn't die. So that's just a lie, multiple times. So here's what I think. I think that you could just say, oh, Heihachi didn't want to kill a kid. Baby killing was the line. He'll kill kids, but not babies.
Dog.
I like how you changed it to baby immediately.
Yes, I had to. Babies. He'll kill kids, not babies.
Yeah, I was going to say, because what is the inciting incident of the series? Throwing his son off
I had
a
to
cliff.
catch myself, yes. His code was he will not kill babies.
He will not kill kids.
Defenseless little babies. But if they can do a Mishima step and electric, game on, bitch.
It's just what it is. Yo, my limit, I don't kill kids. Oh, my son, who was a kid? Yo, yeah, fuck him. He's different. But the stranger's
You're
kid?
back
No,
again.
no, I'm not going to do that.
The stranger's kid who like betrayed me and made me have this son with the with the devil gene, and I just annihilated their whole entire clan, aka probably hundreds of more kids. This one, fine. You know, I'm too much. I'll adopt her and then I'll forget about her. This one kind of broke me, honestly. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What are they doing? What?
They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. Down the road, down the witch's road, down. No, I can't talk about that show. I feel like we're going in a whole entire different discussion. Dude, you gotta wait for Dog to come back to show that. Jeez. Yuji no Keokure.
It's fine. He doesn't know what a Genji is.
I'm pretty sure he played Overwatch earlier on, from what I recall. To be fair, everybody knows Genji.
Need healing.
Oh yeah, that's the quote. That's the most famous quote he has. I need healing.
As a Mercy main, I've seen it. The Genji run out and getting slaughtered. I'm like, no, Genji, come back. I need to heal you.
Man, Genji's so cool. I want to see more. I want to see more cinematic and lore of him. Too bad, like, the newest lore he has is he wears clothes.
Sorry about that. I had to leave because the video went live, and you got to post a pinned comment on sponsored videos as part of like the contract agreement. And for whatever reason, I mentioned it before, but just to explain to the audience, for some reason, if you put a pinned comment on a video that's unlisted, and then it goes live, it loses the pinned comment. You have to like redo it. So yeah.
Congratulations, Dog just posted his 8th Ghostface thumbnail. Woo! To be fair, it's Ghostface related completely, so I think that's very fair. But yeah,
another one tomorrow too.
because of the
I'm
gameplay
collecting
trailer.
them. Hi Genji.
So yeah, that's Reina's new lore. You know, honestly, I'll be honest. I still like Reina as a character. In fact, I don't even think this diminishes Reina. I think this completely diminishes Heihachi to me. Like Heihachi is becoming worse and worse and worse. But Reina, potential. That's what I see with her. What are you doing there, like Genji? Were you just like
Pretending that I'm the one talking.
very cute? No one's talking.
I was rereading the summary. I had to double check that it does not mention anywhere that he raised her. He just permitted her to live. That's it. Yeah.
We have no idea what happened. I think because the arcade ending we know, like Reina was also in Heihachi's school, right? Because that's about she's a mystery lady,
that's the
right?
reason why she calls him Jin Senpai, because he went to that school as well. And that's
I
supposed
guess,
to be
yeah.
the explanation. That's the explanation at first for why. That's the initial explanation for why she has that fighting style, because she went to the Mishima school.
Yeah.
Which is funny
Did they
because
just
actually
teach it
most
there?
of Reina's attacks are not even Mishima. They're Lydia's, who then also got added to the game. So that's kind of funny.
Oh,
no, Reina has a lot of Lydia's moves. She has a lot of borrowed moves from Lydia. It's very funny. It's almost like she was meant to be a pseudo replacement for a lot of characters, at least at early points in her development for gameplay. Then they were like, fuck it, we're just putting them both in anyway.
Well, at least
Very
Heihachi
similar
does.
to how. Go ahead.
No, at least Heihachi has a lot of differences compared to his previous counterpart, right?
Yeah.
From what I heard, yeah.
Well, yeah. He's always been very fun, too. Heihachi's always been an extremely fun character. He has one of my favorite attacks. Not even an attack, it's a move. He has one of my favorite moves in all of fighting games because it only exists to troll the opponent. He has a move where he sprints away and also goes at a curve. And the whole time while running backwards, he laughs like, ha, 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 as he runs away.
I actually don't remember that move.
And that move only exists to troll the opponent, and it can be used to timer scam. Like, if there's only 3 seconds left on the clock and you have a life lead, just spam that move and he just keeps running away, and it's almost impossible to catch him.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's really good. It so fits his personality, and it's a unique move. I can't think of any other fighting game where a character has a F off, I retreat into nothing.
Joseph from like the JoJo game does have.
Shut the fuck up. Those don't count. Shut up. Those
like
are party
trying
games.
to give you insights, but okay. Wow. Okay. The JoJo All Star Battle R community. No, the game with no items. Anyways, before we end off, I would actually like to bring up a very funny tweet that I made that semi became popular. Basically, after I played through both like story modes, I made a tweet, and I'll just post a tweet for you guys. So let me just get it up for you guys. I basically just posted these two pictures, and I was like, "Hey, fighting games, can y'all like stop making shit DLC stories? Thank you." And this kind of semi blew up. And the funniest thing is, I read the comment section, and it's a war zone. Not by people being offended by my opinion, but it's a war zone about people comparing Chaos Reigns and like Unforgotten Echoes. It's like, oh, well, at least it wasn't as bad. At least, or like, you know, Unforgotten Echoes is like okay compared to Chaos Reigns. It's just a battlefield. And I'm just like, I don't care. I just said they're both bad. Why are we? Everyone is just having a battle down there basically, and it's a lot of, and it's pretty funny if you want to read through some of the comments. But I'd like to bring up 3 points that I've noticed that I think is interesting when comparing these two games. Number one, Echoes, Forgotten. Fuck that DLC name. I'm just gonna call it Tekken 8 DLC story mode.
Yeah,
it's free, especially when you compare it to Chaos Reigns, which is a $50 expansion. That is something that people talk about as a positive. Now,
it's not exactly true though, because I don't think people bought the Chaos Reigns expansion just for the story. If they did, no offense, but that was a very dumb purchase. Watch it for free.
I mean,
on
some
YouTube.
people do, you know. Technically,
you can watch it for
for
free on
videos,
YouTube. If you're paying for the story, just watch it.
Yeah, because the thing is, because Chaos
you're
Reigns,
paying for 6 DLC characters and 12 costumes.
Yeah,
that's the thing to mention.
Like, the actual fair comparison would be to group Chaos Reigns with Season 1 of DLC.
Yeah. Yes.
You can actually buy separate characters now from the DLCs, from what I recall. Like, and each of them are like $8 or something.
Yeah.
So if you bought the Chaos Reign expansion, that would be like 6 characters, which is technically would mean your story mode is like $2 in a way, like technically speaking.
Yeah,
but the point is you spent
comparison.
Money. You still spent money. So Forgotten Echoes has that like cool factor, like it's free and stuff.
Except the stage that you got to pay for, which is only in story mode, because they
that
don't forget
is
that drama.
Insane to me, because
that was funny. That I was here for that funny ass situation. I was like, oh my god.
Did you guys know that? Okay, look, Mortal Kombat has a lot of controversies going around it, and on Steam, the recent reviews are always usually low for like Mortal Kombat, and there's like tons of reasons for that. But for Tekken, it has gotten like a worse Steam review just because of that stage.
Did you know they removed them unfairly? Like Steam removed a lot of the new reviews, even though they were fair. It was saying like
they did this recently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't that wild?
They're like, oh, you guys just review botting us, so we're gonna like remove this like function of like, you know, customers being pissed about their product.
They didn't do that for MK.
Now, I will say this though.
But Tekken gets saved. Yeah.
I will say this about like Tekken. They did try to.
Somebody at Bamco complained and cried to Steam. Yeah. Sorry.
I don't think it's just Bandai though, right? I think it's other games that had this like massive Steam bombing, like this stop for other Steam games too. I don't think it's just Tekken.
Well, because it basically it's the only way people.
I'm just saying Tekken and MK. I don't think MK ever got theirs removed.
Basically, it's the only way people can actually express and try and get it to the company that they've made bad decisions, because they don't listen. The only way to stop to make them listen is to hurt the bottom line, and the way to do that is say this game is shit. Bring the overall score down so it's like overwhelmingly negative. Then new people will go, oh, the game's shit then. Because they're not going to look at the individual reviews. Yeah, and that's the only way people can express what you're doing
and
here is dog shit. Yeah.
Like people do see that negative score and get affected, and companies have like do get affected by that. Now, luckily, Tekken actually did do like a response. Now, whether or not you think this is a good response or not is up to you. But basically, they're like, "We're sorry, guys, but if you open Tekken right now, you get 500 Tekken like coins for free within the next month." So
that's some Fallout 76 shit right there.
And the funniest thing, by the way, is you get free Tekken coins. Great, now I can use this to buy the new stage. Crap, I only can use real money to buy this new stage.
Yeah, really? You can't use Tekken coins on it? Oh, shit.
Nope. You can only use Tekken coins on the skins and the battle pass, but not the new stages. I don't even think the new DLC characters too.
That is just like Fallout 76, because with that it's like, here's the big collector's edition where you get like a postman's bag. Ooh, a nice bag. And it's like, okay, but then it came out, no, it's not canvas like it was supposed to be. It was like some cheaper material.
Oh, yeah, that's so funny.
And so they were like, okay, well, we'll give you some free in-game currency. And people realize, okay, the bag that you were selling us on is in the game in the postman's outfit you can buy in the store, and you didn't even give us enough money to get the postman's outfit with the bag in the game.
Yeah.
Here's a other thing to mention. Right now, like if you go into Tekken, like in the Tekken lounge, you'll see Heihachi and Harada in there, and you can like fight their ghosts. There's a new Harada Heihachi skin that looks pretty good, like the customization.
Nice.
But the main thing to mention here is I recommend you guys to go beat that, because if you beat Heihachi, you will get the rest of the Heihachi mask customization that you can't get with the skin. The hat and the
cool.
mask.
Okay.
You can only get that if you
Okay.
fight him right now in the Tekken lounge.
I
That's
don't-
limited, like
Yeah,
that's a limited like activity.
yeah, but I don't have Heihachi, so I don't give a shit.
It's for everybody. It's for every character can wear the hat and the mask.
Oh, that's kind of fun. Okay. Also, this
Yeah.
is completely unrelated, but it's worth mentioning because I keep forgetting to bring it up. Heihachi's hairstyle is personality activated.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
cute.
When he comes back to old Heihachi, his hair just stands up.
I think the idea is supposed to be that he gets his memories back and it fully awakens his dormant electric powers, and that's like static electricity puts the hair back up. I think that's the idea.
Oh my god, this new
That's
lore for
funny.
Reina also invalidates her devil form. It also makes no sense now, because she gets the fucking Heihachi haircut. But she's not Heihachi's kid. Fuck me! You know the things that he says. Damn it! Sorry. It's so silly. I'm not actually mad for anyone watching. I'm just trying to play it up for fun, but it is ridiculous.
The
I don't
Reina-
know. You seem pretty mad there.
The Reina retcon feels like they made a mistake when they were writing the story. Like, oh, Reina's got devil powers because she's Heihachi's daughter. And someone was like, but the devil gene didn't come from Heihachi. It came from his wife. We established that in the last game. They're like, okay,
Hey, shut up.
put a text file in the game that you can read, which they didn't have in the base game, so only with the DLC. Here's a text file, and just to retcon, it's like, okay, Reina's one of the Hachijo. That's where she got the power from. She's not Heihachi's illegitimate child, even though Harada said she was, because she clearly was supposed to be at some point in development. They are so dumb. They are so dumb. Holy shit.
Don't worry, Snake. Don't worry about it. They're just gonna retcon Reina's story again because it doesn't make sense right now.
Yeah.
My point to bring up here is like a lot of people are saying.
You know what Reina's going to be? She's going to turn out to actually be like the evil in June's soul that was expelled when she was almost killed by Ogre.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Sure.
her plot is she's trying to find June so she can absorb June into herself and like reintegrate and become fully like evil like not dark devil June whatever. That's what the plot's going to be.
Is it that Tekken Tag Team 2? Like June or something?
That
Or-
was
or- is
a
that what you're
better
talking about?
story. Tekken Tag 2 has a barely existent non-canon story, and it was better than what 7 and 8 did. It's tragic.
So yeah, like I posted that tweet, and like I think that's interesting. Like I never really thought about pricing as a story mode thing, because a lot of people tend to bring that up as like, oh, at least it was free. At least it was free. So that as a positive. And it's interesting to think, but at the same time, personally, I never use that as like an effect. It doesn't affect
It really
me whether or
shouldn't
not
be,
I think
yeah.
a story mode. Yeah, it's like so technically speaking, I guess Multiversus has the best story mode campaign in it, even though it's only text dialogue, but it's free. You can play that for free, you know. So it's like the best fighting game story ever, right, guys? Right? The game is free, so that's even better than Tekken 8, right? I don't know. I don't
If
think
you
that's
crap
really
on
good.
a plate and give it to me, I don't care that it's free. I don't want it. I'd rather a $10 plate that's good.
All right, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and it's also nice if the stuff you put on my plate isn't going to slide off onto all the other fancy plates I have and make them shitty as well.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
This is some interesting analogies.
Like if Aftermath had been free, it still wouldn't be good. You can't go, oh, it's good because it's free. It's like it still ruins Sindel as a character. I don't care that it's free. Fuck you.
I will give them this though. That's interesting. Even Harada came out and was like, "I have no idea why this DLC was actually free because the stage is not, but the DLC that we took months making is free. It's a really interesting decision on our producer's side, but hey, I mean, cool. So it's
So
weird
Harada
for
really
even
is
them
just a
too.
figurehead then. He's not even in charge of production. Like Harada really is just like there.
He made a really, really long apology and explained like he used to be game dev and the producer. However, after Tekken 7, he went way more into game dev. Or Tekken 8. And so all this shit that's happening with the battle pass, with like the price on the stage, Harada was like, I was working on the game dev. I did not know that they were gonna do this shit. So I'm gonna have more of a hand in this now. Like I did not know. So. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So number 2 thing that I saw a lot of people in the comment section talking about when comparing both of these story modes, at least it was short. At least it was just 1 hour. Chaos Reigns was 3 hours of torture. At least it's just a little pinch, instead of like being like a long drawn out like bad thing. And this is like a teeny thing or something like that. A lot of people said that in the comment section.
But I thought we agreed like as a community that Chaos Reigns was just dull. It wasn't bad per se. It was just like underwhelming. This story is actually bad.
It was like why?
If you're a writer, it's just bad.
Like why commit so much time and effort and money into making this thing when nothing really happens? It really is just invasions mode with a budget. So it's not bad. It's just
Yeah. It's and between bad, like going back and forth for me. I do think Chaos Reigns is worse, but subjective opinion there. But
interesting.
But yeah.
Sorry. Let me put it this way, right?
Wait. You see? You don't want to know why I just said Chaos Reigns was like worse than Tekken 8, the DLC story mode? Because we completely forgot the first half again, which takes up half of the entire duration of the DLC. We're all focused on that other half that's so bad that we completely forget about Eddie and Lydia. Like this whole discussion has just been about Heihachi. It's like.
Well, no, for me it's just a story in general. So as someone who like enjoys writing and has written stuff, you should have a story that flows and like actually goes somewhere. To have a story that completely ruins itself and makes it all irrelevant and it doesn't even have to exist at all is more of an offense to me than Chaos Reigns just being like a semi
MK11.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all of MK11. And also time travel in general. A lot of having time travel at all in your stories can be one of the worst ways or one of the fastest ways rather, to make it not matter. Same with multiverse shit and all that. It doesn't matter. That's my main issue with why I think the Tekken 8 story is still worse, even if you don't like hate it. Just on that principle alone, the fact that it fails to be a basic story, it breaks several basic rules of storytelling. Like, yes, the main story is fine. The main story is completely fine. My only issue with the main Tekken 8 story is how Jin gets let off too easy. That's my only real gripe. Yeah, is that he should be way more on the hook.
Yes, absolutely.
Not just from the characters, but from like us, the community should hate him more. But we're supposed to like him, and I'm like, I thought the whole point of like Tekken 6 was like that he's also capable of like. Honestly, Tekken 6 is the biggest villain in my opinion. Tekken 6 like ruined the entire point of Jin, which is to be a good version of Kazuya. But fuck,
Tekken 6 basically pulled MK9 Sindel Massacre in that game. Now the entire series has to suffer through what Tekken 6 did. And so
it's true.
Yeah. That's one way to look at it actually in a funny way.
I have a couple things. One, Sonic, is comparing Chaos Reigns and Tekken 8 DLC, whatever the fuck. I want you to ask yourself this, because I think this is really going to turn you around on this. Right. Of the two, which one has Reptile in it?
Ooh. Yeah, Alex didn't come back.
I don't see Reptile in Tekken 8, so Chaos Reigns better by default.
Honestly. They do punch Reptile in the crotch.
But I think honestly, because Eddie part is honestly just basically a self-contained story. It really is completely irrelevant to everything else going on. Whereas Lydia's stuff is just consumed by the Heihachi stuff. So I think, it might have worked better to just do individual character stories. Because that's what I thought they were going to do at first. But if it just been, if Eddie's was just a standalone plot, like people would have loved that if that was isolated. Like Eddie comes back, he gets to have a little encounter with Jin, he gets to do some cool shit, save all his Tekken Force guys. That's great. That people would love that part if it wasn't connected to everything else. Then Lydia's story could just be what's she up to during all this shit? Why isn't she taking part in the tournament? Something else came up. And it could still set up the Heihachi stuff, like, this is more important, but make it a standalone thing. And then Heihachi's is just about the Tekken monks and him coming back. I think the only reason they wouldn't do that would be, like, the Heihachi stuff, he would have no one to fight. It would just be that one,
Heihachi's the
one
man.
big
He's the
NPCs.
king.
that one big dude,
you-
like phantoms of himself and Kazuya, and that would be it. So you have to have the other characters there to give him something interesting to fight, which is one of the downsides, of course, with fighting games in general. That I mean, the alternative is doing a Street Fighter V and putting like Peter the policeman from Rio in there and say,
Well,
okay,
they do
can
that
you
in
fight
Tekken
him?
itself. You fight the Tekken like army people, the soldiers, right? The G-Force.
Yeah, but a whole
And
DLC.
Jax.
A whole
yeah.
DLC of Heihachi just fighting the Tekken monks would be really boring. Although,
Of course, yeah.
although
Yeah.
if they were really smart, they wouldn't bring Heihachi back. They'd just say he's still dead. But this is just he's here for the gameplay. But his story is a prequel that is about the massacre of the Hachijo.
They
And
They
you-
really didn't need to bring back Heihachi in the story, even if they want him to be playable. They
Yeah.
could have just put a Tekken 5, just let him be playable. But no, they just had to. And that actually leads to my other point. But I will say this though, because for me, Tekken 8's DLC story like sucks ass, pisses me off. But I was laughing at it. Like I was actually like genuinely emotionally like just like bursting out laughing at how bad some of these things were. Chaos Reigns was very dull, and it has a ton of mistakes. If you give me like a story mode with a ton of mistakes, and you make me feel nothing out of it compared to pissing me off, I get more feeling out of that. So that's one reason why I give like a little bit more leeway to that. They're both shit to me though, so it's not really saying much, you know. It's like, oh, this shit's better than that shit, you know. I just think bullshit, you know.
So the question now, Sonic, is after Shaolin Monk sucks, and M1K sucks, and Chaos Reigns sucks, and the 2021 movie 2 sucks, and Cage Match doesn't suck. After all these videos are finally done, Tekken 8 sucks, or Tekken 8 DLC sucks. Happen?
I have no. You know what? In the future, if I want to say I'm running out of Mortal Kombat content, but in the future, if I ever want to like expand, I think Tekken and Street Fighter will be pretty fun. But I also have.
Oh, Street
I really
Fighter
want-
5 sucks. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
Street Fighter
you
5
got
is
some
still
material
considered
with that one.
apparently.
Ooh.
I didn't
Other-
know this, but Street Fighter
Yeah.
5 is considered the champion of like the shit crown. Like that
Yeah.
story.
That's
mode
what
is
I've
considered
heard.
The worst now.
That's what I've heard. I know a synopsis of the story, but I never experienced
Thorgy's
it.
Arcade with his retrospective on the series split that off into a separate video because it was like
Just
40
to shit talk
minutes.
Street Fighter 5.
Who did it? I
Holy
gotta watch this
shit.
video. Who did it?
Thorgy's Arcade.
Thorgy. Awesome analysis fighting game guy.
Oh okay.
We should get him on sometime. He's awesome.
Yeah,
We should.
Actually, I
I'd be a
thought
good
he's.
guest, yeah.
We do have as a good. Yeah, hell yeah. One last thing I want to bring up, by the way, about my comment section that I've seen, because a lot of people kept saying those two things. It's at least it's free, at least it's short, and then this third thing, fucking pisses me off. Well, fighting game stories suck anyways. Fighting game stories have always been bad, so who
Those
cares?
people need to be excommunicated from the community and like shot in the face with a
I
fake
need
gun.
to say this, by the way. I'm gonna with your fake gun.
Not real bullets. They're not real.
In the Mortal Kombat community, shit talk the fuck out of our own story mode. Be like, okay, this game was shit, this game was shit, that game was good. I hate the story mode. They did a terrible job. But I have never seen our own people, say fighting game stories suck. I don't. I do not see this opinion. But you know who I saw it like a bunch from? When Heihachi got announced. Oh, fighting game stories suck. You know, they always been suck. So it's okay that Heihachi's back. It's okay that Heihachi's back. You know, cope. This is how we cope, by saying fighting game stories sucks.
Massive copium.
Like,
Yeah.
after experiencing this Tekken DLC, I was like, was Tekken ever good? Was the story ever good? So I went and watched like a retrospective. Snake, you recommended this guy before, like Gitai.
Yeah.
I just went on and watched his entire retrospective, and I'm like, oh yeah, Tekken 1 through 4 is objectively great. Like, those stories are actually good. And I personally actually even like 5, and holy shit, his video on 6 is amazing. I'm like, I hate Tekken 6. In fact, you make me hate Tekken 6 more. Where the fuck has this like hidden gem like undertone like story come from that he makes in that video? Makes me be like, is Tekken 6 like a hidden masterpiece or something like that? He made me feel that way. And also, I'm gonna say this. I like Tekken as a series. I don't play too many of the games. I came back, started playing Tekken. I've been playing rank right now. I'm almost red rank right now. And
Hell
it's not because I'm into Heihachi. Oh, I'm about to ready to play Eddie. No, it's because I came back to check the story mode. The story made me play the fucking video game. What does it say about me? Huh? What does it say about me going through like rank because of the story mode now, huh? Story doesn't fucking matter. Stories always suck, so who cares, right? It's like, do you not understand that like half the fucking player base right now, yes, there's tryhards and there's also casuals. What do you think they're doing? Like, do they not matter now? Do you think the companies are not going to care about them? It's like I am so sick of these people always saying, if you want to say your own game stories suck, that's fine. Why bring everyone down this road? Why say fighting game stories suck? You know, go watch Force Snake's amazing like fighting game like stories matter like collab, dude. Like I'm pissed off like so many people say on my comment section. There's a ton of you.
If done well, a good story will never have a negative impact on a product. Even if you're just selling a line of toys that are already popular before you add the story to them, which I think is what happened with He-Man. I think they were toys first, then they added like a story to it. Like, it didn't hurt the toys to have a good story. Like, it's never going to be detrimental. So, you know, being upset when a story is bad is completely normal. But I did whenever I hear can't talk. Whenever I see that comment, I just think of the fourth snake like tearing into those people. Like, fuck you people, where did you come from? Who are this new wave of people who act like stories have never been important to fighting games when they've been since the dawn? They've been in the arcade ladder endings and stuff like. They've always been important enough to be in there, you know.
And I've been hearing this so much more after Heihachi came back, and I think Bison. But just like after they came back, it's like, what the fuck are they doing? I'm like, no, that's okay because it doesn't matter. I just want Heihachi back. I don't care about the story, right, guys? Right? Haha. Yeah. The story doesn't matter. Where the fuck did you guys? Where were you for the past 20 years?
Yeah. And even someone who was trying to take down, we're not going to name them, but they were like making a response to one of my videos. They thought I was crazy or like incorrect when I said that Tekken used to have a good story. And then like somewhere around 5 and 6, or 6 I should say, it just got stagnant. Like either nothing happened or it was just kind of dumb. So I feel vindicated having you say this because you like rewatched it and stuff and you're like, oh yeah, the old games had stuff that actually happened. Like
Tekken
for example,
6.
even something as subtle as
Sorry, go.
Paul... Even something as subtle as Paul fumbling the bag in Tekken 3, defeating Ogre but not actually defeating him and leaving too early, and then regretting it because he's now not considered the king of Iron Fist when he probably could have been. Like, that really weighs on him in 4. That's why he's got his hair down and he's like a fucking bum. Like, even something as simple as that played a pretty important role in Tekken 4. Now he doesn't get to do anything. Like, ever since, every game, he's just like either a joke character or does literally nothing. And this is Paul. Like, Paul used to be an important character. But now nothing. And like Snake pointed out, Asuka was going to be set up as like a big important character. There's even foreshadowing to it, but then just does nothing. Like it's phenomenal how little they've tried to do things in the Tekken game. So I feel vindicated hearing you say that. Is all I wanted to wrap back around to. It feels like I'm stuck on a plane and it won't take off.
I'll even say this about Tekken 6. I feel like Tekken 6 was the last time they really tried something interesting. I mean, if it's good or bad is very subjective, but like at least it was like new main characters. Everyone is affected by the war, and there's a scenario campaign where you can actually get every single character to go through the exact like campaign to see their interactions with every single character. You know, there's a lot there that's interesting. Now, whether it's good or not bad is that's a different question, but it's different. Like I do feel like that's a very interesting thing to do. It's bad, but you know, yeah.
Yeah. At least try. You know. Like, I hate Breakaway in Mortal Kombat 11 as a gameplay mechanic. I'm glad it's gone. But whenever I ranted about it, I'd always say, you know, I do want to say it's cool they tried something. You know, they tried something new, some brand new mechanic. Didn't work out. I hate it. Never come back, but they tried.
I'll leave off with one last thing about like my opinion about Tekken because I still like the series. You know, it's not gonna like
of course.
change
Oh,
too
love
much.
It. Gameplay's super fun.
Yeah. Tekken has always been to me like a 50-50, where it's like 50% is like actually good storytelling and I'm really enjoying what's going on here, even the ridiculous stuff. Then the other side is the ridiculous stuff and the comedy. I really love that shit. Like, I am really into a lot of the comedy stuff that they do early on. Nowadays, I do feel like the comedy stuff, unfortunately, isn't really landing. And in fact, when I'm laughing, I'm not laughing with them, I'm laughing at them. I was laughing hysterically when Heihachi like headbutted the meteor and got his memories back. That's so shitty. Ha ha ha. I feel like ever since, especially in Tekken 7, it's not about telling a good story anymore. It's about giving good aura. It's about the hype moments. It's about giving them that Dragon Ball feeling. You know? I feel like it's about yes, God, like that kind of feeling. Like they just keep. That's all they want to do. They just want Jin and Kazuya to fight. They just want Heihachi to go back and start fighting with them. They want that hype aura, and that's all they're chasing for. Which, there are fans for that. There are people who love that. There are people making videos saying Tekken 8 is the best fighting game story ever. So it works for some people. So if they want to go for that, good for them. But I just don't think it's like anywhere close to how it was like before, like how good it was before. And that's how I ended off for myself.
Yeah, I think the story was poopy butt chungus. That's all by.
Moist critical. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Butt chungus.
So that's about it. So yeah.
Is it Scorsese or some other famous director said that the Marvel movies and stuff were like ruining cinema because they're not really about good stories anymore. They're about being theme park rides.
Amusement park, yes.
And that's how it kind of feels with the fighting game stories, right? They're just trying to be more style over substance.
It literally is a video game. True.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
I mean, I don't like it, but I agree. Like, I don't hate it. I think Tekken 8's story was pretty fun for the most part. I like how it tries to give every character a turn. Still failed at that because my girl Asuka didn't get to do anything.
They tried, but it's actually like still just like an 80% Jin story. But yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, the perfect chance to give Asuka something to do.
Snake, just wondering, when you said back in our Tekken 8 discussion, you said that a friend of yours like really liked Tekken 8's story. Was that Gitai?
No.
Okay, never mind then.
Is a friend who
Yep.
is a huge mark. It's very easy to satisfy him with a lot of stuff. He's also a big Yakuza fan, even though that series has turned to dog shit. So you know.
Damn.
Shots fired. Woo-hoo.
Wow, your friend. Damn. Shots fired.
What's
at
the
this
deal with writing
mysterious
lately?
person.
Why has it become impossible like to write something good now? Are they just firing all the writers for some reason and we're getting these new scab replacement writers? Or like, what's going on here?
Writer's strike happened a couple years back, so these shows came out
true.
during the COVID time. With that being said, though, there's 2 really good shows that came out recently, so I recommend you guys to watch that if you want to. Oh, Arcane's fucking coming out so soon.
Don't mess that up, please. Please.
Don't mess that
Please
up.
don't mess that up. Don't Joker fully adieu. Please don't.
You know, I'll tell you why, dog. I'll tell you why. So many stories nowadays are dog shit. It's because of the Wolcoids and the Chuds. Either or.
Oh, just both.
Take your pick, whichever one you think is more appropriate. But they are to blame for all of it. It's not because people just overestimate their ability as writers, or because that good storytelling, unfortunately, isn't what sells. It really is the spectacle. You can't put good writing in a trailer, but you can put a big action spectacle in a trailer. You can't put much of Jin reflecting on his past and going, oh damn, I did so many bad things, I need to atone, in a trailer. But you can't have him punch Kazuya in the face in a trailer while like epic waves crashing around them. So you know.
That intro, baby.
Well, there was one tiny hint at that, but it was very minor. It's one of the very, very first Tekken ever reveal, right? Which was like the rainy stage they fight on and all that.
Yeah.
Jin's first line is something akin to, creatures like us should not exist in this world.
Yeah, that's Tekken 7 Jin.
And that's when
like,
Kazuya
kind
has
of
such
line.
weak words, Jin.
Which is funny
And
because
that's like his only tiny reflection is like, yeah, we're both terrible. We gotta go.
which is funny because that line was just basically stolen from Soul Calibur 4, because Siegfried goes, our kind should not exist in this world, not ever again, when he beats Nightmare. And it's like you're ripping off better games. Soul Calibur 4 had a lot of problems, especially with its story, but holy shit, that was better than Tekken 8.
And
To be fair,
you mentioned
though-
the Wolcoids and the Chuds. I want to mention a third faction that exists for video games at least.
Oh gosh,
Maybe not
where
for
are we going with
not
this?
as much for films, because
Sweet
with
Baby
the films,
Inc.
despite fans hating them, they still keep going this direction because it's too late to course correct. But with video games, for like how they brought back Bison and Heihachi, I think another big villain in that story is Producer Sama. Producer Sama is like, hey,
for the money.
we already know that M. Bison is a villain that sells. We're not going to risk a third strike, so he can't stay out. We've got to bring back Bison. We suck at making new villains. We know we suck at making new villains, so Bison must come back. Producer Sama. And
I did
then
remember seeing
same
some
with,
Street
like-
Fighter fans are like, is Elena like the only returning Street Fighter 3 like character in the Street Fighter 6?
But yes, that's because Street Fighter 6 is trying to be more. It's bringing back other characters from like the other games, not so much. Third Strike.
So it's like
Kinda
Street
like
Fighter
how,
2 love, but no Third Strike
yeah.
love is what I'm hearing for some people say.
Yeah, like how Street Fighter, which is weird because it takes place canonically after Third Strike. So if you're gonna bring them back, this is the game to
Right?
do it.
Yeah.
But Street Fighter 5 was very much alpha. Like it was showing love to alpha characters, is what Street Fighter 5 was doing a lot of.
Yeah.
And then, do you think the Sticks would bring more Third Strike back? But so I was going to say with Heihachi, I can just picture a writing room, right? And producer Sama is there. He's present. And it's like, so Tekken 7 was meant to be like the send-off for Heihachi. He's like, yes, I understand. And then in Tekken 8, we're finally going to have the big conclusion between Jin and Kazuya. It's like, okay. So depending on whoever wins that fight, who's the new main villain, or who's the new conflict? And they're like, I guess we just go in an entirely new direction. And he goes, fuck that. We're doing what we know works. We're bringing back Heihachi. We need some new conflict to loop and cycle because it's clearly worked where we're not changing. And producer Sama had the final say in this like evil boardroom, and that's why we're not going to see anything new in Tekken 9.
You know, I'm gonna give a little bit of hope because now they've already, what's the phrase, like, used up their load or something like that. You know what I mean?
They blew their load in the first jank. Yeah.
Blew their load on the first jank. So if there's ever a second DLC story mode for Tekken, they got no more like Mishima shit that they can pull out. So has to be a small scale story, you know, about Armor King and Marduk's journey.
No, you know it's going to be?
Somehow Anna Williams.
Kazumi comes back.
I had respect for them, you know. I remember I told my brother this. I was like, imagine, I was like, hey, Hachi fucking come back. It pisses me off. Like, because it's like, okay, there's this character called Kazumi, and this character, like, literally only exists as the past, and she dies. And then, like, but she's playable in Tekken 7, and that's really cool. And I pause. I'm like, oh my fucking gosh, they're going to bring her back, aren't they? I just kind of like, I'm like, they can't hold themselves. Kazumi was a really popular character in Tekken 7. She's like really beginner friendly and shit like that. Oh no. Oh my.
Oh my god. Could you
She's gonna come out
imagine?
somehow.
Season 2 is Kazumi, Akuma, and like two completely disconnected characters who were just crammed into it anyway.
They are not bringing back Akuma.
Marduk and Armor King.
Eliza.
No, Julia Chang and
It's a dice roll. Lucky Chloe. You said Lucky Chloe was gonna come back.
Yes.
No, Ganryu.
Bring back
Julia
Roger
and Ganryu.
Jr.
Ganryu.
Julia
At least
and-
Ganryu is an OG. I respect him.
It's going to be Julia and
hate
Ganryu
Ganryu.
having encountering Kazumi Mishima, and Akuma's going to show up and be like the key to her resurrection. And then they're setting up like a game where all the Mishimas are together, all those characters except for Jinpachi. He stays dead.
Okay, cool.
I'm not going to even try to
Jinpachi's-
predict the next set of DLC characters, but I will say, because y'all brought up Kazumi, could you imagine? I'm just going to try to predict this the same way that one guy jokingly predicted the exact ending of Tekken 8. Complete with theme music and everything. So, Reina is going to unlock the devil form, but when she fully unlocks it, it's just going to bring back devil
Kazumi?
Yeah, Kazumi.
Devil
because,
Kazumi
that's
from the
the
arcade
original
endings.
form, and it's the same bloodline, everything, right? So she's gonna reawaken that completely.
Reina's the
And she's gonna be like,
reincarnation
"You fool,
of Kazumi."
Heihachi." And he'll be forced to kill his own kid now too.
She's Kazumi reincarnated. Holy shit!
Yes, in her.
Oh, that'd be the
Yeah.
way how they explain why she's playable in the future. Oh my gosh.
Because
I'm writing it right now.
if Lydia and Heihachi came back, Reina's moveset basically has no reason to exist, so she gets Kazumi's instead.
Yeah, upon learning her actual past, like maybe like she was lied to about like Heihachi being her real dad and like or something like that. Upon learning the truth, she pulls a Jin and unlearns everything she's been taught and develops her own new like fighting style. And then Kazumi gets to be playable as a
That would be the fan inference of what happened. The game just won't explain it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. It will look very hyped though.
Now.
They're gonna throw a lot of like flashback memories at your screen. Isn't it funny when they're throwing flashbacks of Lydia's like memories? It's like, oh well, she's never appeared in a story mode. So here's this New York picture, and then her grandfather just spam that shit like 5 times in her like story and the ending.
You know how Jin he keeps cycles through a bunch of movesets in the finale?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Reina's going to do that in the finale of the. Well, I don't think she's even going to be the main villain of the next one, but I think there'll be a big fight where she'll cycle through her moveset and Kazumi's moveset and Heihachi's moveset, and like go through all these movesets for each round as you're fighting her, and then eventually she'll be defeated, and then probably just turn into Kazumi. Oh no, we're going to find out that Kazumi's pet tiger was called Reina.
They really
You know what's also that'd be crazy. Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. She's gonna
I physically made me
Reina is
cringe
gonna
right there.
reincarnate and become Devil Kazumi. I'm sorry, I keep saying the names wrong. Yeah, gonna become Devil her, right? And then
Reina,
Asuka, Asuka and
What
Jun are gonna
Asuka's gonna
join
do?
hands and unite their cleansing energy together to shoot a giant anime beam that cleanses this true devil form of Reina through the power of friendship, just to give Asuka some plot relevance and let her bring back that power that she had in
Asuka,
5, but
baby.
it never got to do anything.
Without Lily, are you dreaming, Drew
Well, no,
Lily
see,
dies.
Fucking
see,
dreaming?
Lily dies in a heroic sacrifice.
No,
But she's
here's
fucking dead.
sure.
I think that the best chance we have of Asuka doing anything is if what they've set up with Lily and Azucena, because people like Azucena, that does carry over into the next game. So now Lily is finally detached from Asuka. The fucking parasite is gone. She's stuck on Azucena.
True.
Then
Fuck her, get out of here.
And then Asuka ends up befriending Reina.
Yes.
Snake,
And
I'm sorry.
And then Asuka helps Reina with her redemption, where she becomes a good person through Asuka's friendship, and it's the cringiest shit ever. But I can see them doing it.
No,
And
Snake,
also,
you just
just for
I heard
fun.
you. I heard your mind. You said it's
Yeah.
the cringest shit ever, but I'm gonna love it because they give Asuka something to do. I heard that. I just heard that in your head. Just that popped out. I just heard that. And what I was gonna say was like, I'm sorry, man, but in the next game, it's gonna be Azucena, Lily, and Asuka as like a three-way like love triangle or some shit. I'm sorry, man.
I thought you were gonna say it was gonna be Lily and Azucena, but Asuka's just absent from Tekken 9. She's
Yeah,
just, she's
I
so
was
irrelevant
thinking
now.
that.
She's not even on the roster. Yeah.
Like,
Jun's back, so who cares?
They'll fold her moves into June, and June will just come back, and Asuka will just be gone because Lily
I
doesn't
think
need her
Asuka still
anymore.
has popularity though, so I don't think so. But yeah, that'd be funny.
I also want to see a lore explanation. I know it's not that big of a deal, but I want a lore explanation for what the hell is happening when Azucena does her rage art and she just powers up all that energy into like her little fingertip and goes bink and flicks and explodes into all this rainbow energy. I want to know what that is because she only does that for
It's
one other
coffee
attack.
magic.
I don't think
She only does it
Rage
for
Arts are
one
canon.
other attack. She has one attack during heat, and it's not ever going to land. But during her heat activation, and I think during her stance, she has a taunt she can do, where she does like the little pose and charges it up and does an unblockable with a ton of damage, and it's the exact same flick. It's just never going to land. And I'm like, what is this mythical ability that she has that never plays a role anywhere? And I can hear my friend who loves Tekken being like, it's just a gameplay thing, man. Like, don't worry about it. No, I'm gonna worry about it because they could have just made her a regular new fighting style, and she likes to drink coffee. They gave her some supernatural element that I need to have explained right fucking now.
Dog,
not
like
why she can
more
do
than
that.
half the characters have special elements thanks to their new domain expansion ultimates, rage arts. It's just the power of Peru. That's what she's using. The power of Peru. I mean, Lydia
Also,
loves her country too, right?
And by the way, it's a subtle thing, but I do like how, at least in story mode cutscenes, Azucena looks like she's kind of tired perpetually despite drinking coffee all the time. But that is actually an adverse side effect of drinking too much caffeine, is you do start to like be tired all the time. So yeah, so it's kind of funny. She's still dancing, but she like looks like
And that's just her
very tired in
design
all those
mostly,
cutscenes,
baby.
yeah.
Anyways,
chill.
we can fan fiction for like longer, but I think we should end it off because my computer's about to run out of memory with the amount
Yes, good time to end.
Because when you brought up the Kazumi shit, I'm like, where else can this go? That's like worse. Like what? Now June is gonna turn to Ogre because like Ogre was the one who killed her or killed her. But now this is how we revive Ogre, June Ogre. I don't know.
Sure. I mean, bringing
Sure.
back Ogre would have been cooler than bringing back Heihachi. I'm saying it.
Oh yeah, I think the fourth DLC character is either
Right.
gonna be not story relevant, like a dead character like Ogre, or it's gonna be for the second story mode, or a guest fighter like
teaser.
Tifa.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Oh,
a
yeah,
guess. It's
Those
going
are
to be a
the
guess
best
for sure.
options.
And the guest
I think
characters
guest most
Tekken are
likely also.
so random that we literally have no context. Like it could be anybody. That's literally how random they do their guest characters.
With MK, there's a theme to it.
Yes.
What is it's like 80s. Basically, it's the characters your
whoever
dad
your
would
dad
play,
remembers.
Basically,
whoever your dad remembers. Yes, that's the guest character.
or popular streaming characters. Whereas you look at like Tekken, it's like, okay, what do we have? We had Akuma. Oh, makes sense. Yeah, so another.
Pretty cool.
They already had a crossover, so it makes sense. And then we had there's Geese Howard. Okay, so that's a solid pick. Negan from The Walking Dead.
That is the most random shit ever. Yeah,
it is. It will never not be.
Noctis, Swordman, Final Fantasy 15.
Yes, Noctis. Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Really random
Tekken
shit. Yeah.
Not only is Tekken open to anybody as a guest character, like they will take that paycheck, but also Tekken 8 especially. I hate to say it, they're like shill the video game. They get like a new big company brand sponsorship like every couple months. Like they had that huge Chipotle tie-in. They had the huge sneaker tie-in. They're having
There was a tweet I saw that was like, here is the Kazuya sponsorship costume, like the Kazuya sunglasses, the Uniqlo like t-shirt and the pants, and then like every costume he's wearing is a different sponsorship.
Yes. So like they will take anything. Like if some like whatever wanted to put their character in the game with enough money in their fist, they would accept it. So it could be pretty much anybody, huh?
It's very weird, like the sponsorships that they have in Tekken, but at the same time, I think 80% of them are free. So you can just like log into the game. Here's free Uniqlo T-shirt for Asuka.
Yeah, but
okay.
No, I don't mind that.
we said
I'm just making fun of the selling out.
It doesn't matter.
Yes,
It
absolutely.
doesn't matter if it's free. If it's shit.
Yeah. It's like the Colgate-inspired outfit for Miles Morales in Spider-Man 2. There was also a giant brand sponsorship deal.
Oh my
It
gosh,
looks like
that's
absolute
right.
trash.
His new like Miles original. Looks shit's
That's
ass, bro.
It speaks up so well. That's just
the
ass,
dub.
bro.
It just sounds so like in game the way that guy voice acts it. I would say the only sponsorship that I liked in Tekken was those damn sunglasses because those adverts are so fucking funny. It's just Kazuya with his Chad face taking pictures and that's it. It's so bad, but I love it.
Yeah, well, he's covering up the sacred treasures. So
He's
got the
covering up
Tootsies
them
on.
dogs.
the fact she comes with
Absolutely.
removable shoes is kind of a fetish.
I think they're
Like that, they knew what they were doing with that.
I think they're just supposed to be props to imply that she does have them with her.
Can you take off anything else on her, like her hair or whatnot? Or the head, maybe? Okay, so there's a lot of customization. It's not just the feet, dog. It's not just the feet.
Oh dear God! Yeah,
There's different facial expressions you can put on.
That would
I
be
can do
very
that
funny.
too.
Oh my gosh! You know what's
Jury's head.
no, stop. You know what's super funny? I have had this thing with me for the past couple of months now, and I just always
'em in
forget
there.
about it. I went to Japan after I bought those Skibbity toilet collection packs. I went to Japan, and I bought this.
For JoJo cards.
There we go. I'll open it up next
Ah.
time because I think it'll be fun.
Shows
But
it,
yeah, I
shows
keep
it.
forgetting to open it up. I want to get my SSR freaking deal or something. I don't know. We're rambling here. Let's end the episode. Someone kill us. Go watch Agatha All Along and the Penguin Show.
What the fuck, dude? What are you
The
doing?
penguin show is good.
You can't.
the
You
Penguin
can't
Show.
Neither of
recommend
you
a
saw
fucking
Agatha, so you better.
Agatha, get out of here. We're kicking off the show.
You'll
Son.
change your
Jury-
opinion if you watched it.
I'm not watching
Jury
the
will
spin-off
stare
show
into your-
about the One Division character I didn't give a shit about. I'm not watching it, Sonic.
Mhm.
You can't make me.
Jury will stare into your soul and make you a foot lover. In 3, 2, 1.
I can't believe that's how we're ending this shit.
Oh shit! No.
I'm only in 2 episodes in the Penguin, but it's really good. I'm really
No.
enjoying it.
Tiny Artoria with Borga.
That'll be your
and
end. That'll be the
Popo.
end credit scene. That'll be the end credit
Yay.
scene right there. It's a snake. Don't worry.
Borga.
Yay! Palette cleanser.
Yay! Good content. Well. FGO isn't good content. You know.